while your financial life may start out with a Rocky Raccoon account, as you grow, we'll be with you every step of the way. From your first car and everyone thereafter, to investing in your family's future, to buying that special house you'll call home. Current Schools. Together, we have something special.
Welcome to the city, Motor City, where it's summer sell-down.
Get ready to move, get ready to groove, get ready to fly.
Drive away a GMC Sierra 4-door, only $29,990, or save up to $10,000 off select Sierra HD models. Summer sell-down offers end September 3rd. We are professional grade, and we are California's largest volume GMC dealer, Motor City.
Current Schools Federal Credit Union is here to be your lifelong financial partner. So while your financial life may start out with a Rocky Raccoon account, as you grow, we'll be with you every step of the way. From your first car and everyone thereafter, to investing in your family's future, to buying that special house you'll call home. Current Schools is here to help. And if you live in Kern County, then you can bank with us. See, we're local just like you. So what we accomplish together benefits our entire community. Current Schools. Together, we have something special.
It's Friday night under the lights. That means only one thing, Friday Night Football right here on the Kern High Network. Good evening, everybody. Coming to you from South High School, home of the South High Rebels. And the Rebels taking on the Golden Valley Bulldogs tonight. South High 2-0 to start the season. Conversely, the Bulldogs 0-2, and a couple of rough starts for them. One a heartbreaker at East High, going down 10-9 and losing on a field goal with the waning seconds of the game 2 weeks ago. And then, of course, last week having a little bit of trouble and taking on North High 28-0 right out the gate. Not a great start for them, Kenny. I'm joined on the broadcast. Tom Myers here this evening. Kenny Calvin, he's going to be on with us as well. And Julian Wilson, our cameraman extraordinaire, running production as well. And Kenny, you know, a heartbreaker for the Bulldogs.
Absolutely.
We really want to see them compete tonight. What do you think?
Well, I had a chance to spend some summer months with Coach Kane. He's good friends with my cousin, Daniel Calvin, who's on that East High staff. My cousin Daniel got married this summer, and it was interesting to hear the chatter about that game because Kane was on that staff last year and a huge part of their progress. So I'm extremely excited for him to get his own shot and have an opportunity to lead his own program, but more than anything, giving him an opportunity to try to bounce back after a slow start with some well-played football games as well, though.
Yeah, and on the other end of that, of course, the South High Rebels 2-0 to start the season. And, of course, South High looking, you know, to form pretty well so far this season. You know, two quality wins on theirs. Let's see, they have, I believe, well, we're missing 2 weeks ago defeated Independence 7-6. No touchdowns in the second half in that game, but then come back against Delano 35-7 last week and really show the dominance of that offense.
And I'm always impressed with South High. You know, they don't have the huge enrollment that some of the other schools have, but they always have a group that competes. I'll flash back 20 years ago to my challenges of playing guys like Troy Ochoa and coming in here and try to defeat a team that was undermanned, undersized. They always gave us the toughest contest. So to see their success year in and year out with these short rosters that they have is very impressive. So I expect high-level intensity football out of South High tonight, and I hope Golden Valley's ready for it.
And, of course, Kenny, a star here in Kern County back in the 90s.
You're being too kind.
Well, you didn't play at BC for nothing in the 90s, so, I mean, you got to have something going on for you. Getting ready to kick off here for the Golden Valley Bulldogs, number 4, Everardo Rueda. And back deep for the Rebels. Unfortunately, the numbers are a little hard to see. They've got light gray on baby blue, and that is a spotter's worst nightmare.
Absolutely.
We're going to do the best we can to try to get as many names shouted out tonight, but it looks like most of that's going to be when they're in midfield.
Absolutely. It's going to be an exciting night of football. Perfect weather. It's not too hot. Can't wait to see what both teams bring to the table, Tom.
So third week, the SEYL taking on the SYL this evening. And it looks like we've already got something called by the official. And that's going to be a penalty called against the Rebels, and I believe it's going to be an encroachment on the front line there.
Wow.
And I've not seen that.
Not too often.
I will say this. I have noticed one thing. The officiating this year has tightened up quite a bit. You'll see games running a lot faster this year. We had this discussion early in pregame where they're literally counting 40 seconds between plays, and they're trying to get these games done before 10 o'clock. So they're going to start speeding up the time clock, and that's really going to create a lot more hustle between plays. You're going to see a little less celebration, and if you see celebration, you might see some flags.
Absolutely.
And right now, the penalty actually may be, well, I'm not really sure. They're running chain crew over to the opposite side right now. And I don't know if that was an administration penalty or if it was an actual offsides. It's hard to say.
And to echo the sentiment of the well-officiated games, I had Arvin Foothill last week. I want to say there was probably only 10 penalties all game. And what that tells players and coaches is that they're allowing you guys to compete.
So here we go. And the kick's away. Fielded by the up-back. And he's at the 25-yard line and pushed out of bounds. And they're whistling it dead. Penalty marker thrown at the 43-yard line.
Looks like we got a bit of offsides by the kicking team, so they'll get that 5 back.
So we just got done talking about the fact that there were very little penalties last week in the game you watched, and I hope that's not a telltale sign of what this one's going to look like this evening.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's the first time in a long time where you saw a penalty on the receiving team before the whistle and a penalty on the kicking team after the whistle.
Exactly. So here we go. We're going to start it off again. 2 seconds ran off the clock on the return there. And so he's going to boot it away again. And that's a high one, deep. And that's going to be picked up at the 5-yard line and brought out from there over to the near side. And that was returned by number 3, King Ellis. And on the tackle for the Golden Valley Bulldogs, number 16, Ernesto Romero. So the Rebels are going to start off here at the 20-yard line.
And great job by Ernesto to fight off that wedge, because that was possibly a touchdown-saving tackle because they had a nice wedge set up to the right. Let's see what this South High offense has to offer.
So South High starting off, 1 running back in the backfield, 2 receivers to the high side. And a quick slant pass, and it's pounced off him. He picks it up anyway, midair, and completes for 13 yards on the play. Number 2, King Darrell Brown.
And it looks like we have another flag on the far sideline, the Golden Valley visiting sideline. We'll check with the white hat.
And that may be a sideline warning, and it is a sideline warning. And you get one of those before they start throwing another flag and marching off yards on you.
Twins right.
So the white hat's still having a conversation over on the far side, and the Rebels are ready to go. And, of course, then they're moving the sticks now. So everybody a little slow here in the early going of the game. So we'll get the sticks going. We'll get everybody penalty free, and we'll get this game rolling along. 18 seconds rolled off the clock so far here in the first 5 minutes of the game.
Right away, South High going with the swing route.
And the quarterback hit as he threw it. Got that one away to number 9, Caleb Peebles. And we're going to hear Peebles' name called quite a few times this evening as well. And that's a pickup of about 2 yards on the play.
Ralph Gonzalez with the sure tackle on that swing pass. But the one thing I'm impressed with South High is they're not coming out nervously. They're coming out letting it fly. Quick slant to the left, swing pass to the right. Looks like they're interested in opening it up tonight.
So good job spreading the ball. Manny Guzman, the quarterback for the South High Rebels. And that's a handoff up the middle. And on the carry, that's Daniel Lomax Jr. And you're going to hear Lomax's name quite a few times this evening.
Absolutely. Lomax's name synonymous with South High football for decades.
And there's about a 6-yard pickup on the play. And that's going to bring up 3rd and 4 from the 40-yard line for the Rebels.
I'll tell you real quick, Tom, seeing that short motion from the H-back reminds me of Wenzel Lynn when he was playing here at South High in the 90s. One of the most explosive slot players you have as we go to timeout.
And Kerry Mills not seeing something that he likes, calling a timeout when they're driving on the ball. What do you think that could be?
Well, very interesting to see a timeout out of them based on the fact that they're moving the ball well. And you're giving Golden Valley an opportunity to settle down and get on the same page.
Yeah. So we'd like to give a real quick shout out, obviously, to thank all the people that are making this game possible this evening. Of course, you know, the administration here at South High School, and that's Connie Grumling, the principal, John Getchin, the principal of instruction, assistant principal of instruction, Brian Smith, assistant principal, Taisha Alvarado, dean of students, Dante Boradori, athletics director, and of course Cecilia Polito, activities director. So here come the Rebels out of the timeout. Kerry Mills having a conversation with them really quickly, hopefully discussing what he needs to see or what he didn't like with the offense.
Very interesting because they were moving the ball very well.
So 3rd and 4 from the 40-yard line. 10:31 here in the first quarter, and there's a quick jump there by the defense, and that's going to be an encroachment penalty, and that's going to result in a first down at the 45-yard line for the Rebels.
Well, Mr. Myers, I think we just figured out what that timeout was for. He had a quick talk with his team. Hey, we're going to go with the long count, try to get these guys to jump. Don't jump, guys. Great execution.
The other thing you're going to see tonight, the clock is running out of that timeout real quick. Even though it was a dead ball, they're going to start running the clock a lot quicker this year as well. So the White Hat was winding it before the snap ever happened. On the carry there, Lomax.
And it was interesting to see the pitch on that sweep. It was more of a shot put push pitch instead of an underhand pitch that you see. That can be tricky as far as that mesh point is concerned, because if the timing isn't right, that can be on the ground and the turnover heading the other way. So let's keep an eye on
Now, if that
it.
happens to be any forward and it's overhand and drop, that would be an incomplete pass then.
Yes, yes.
So that could be a benefit to that if he's coming around a little bit further.
Yes.
So 2nd down and 10. Guzman out to the right, out to the near side, number 4, and that's Angel Alvarez. And that's a pickup of about 11 yards on the play, results in a first down at the 44-yard line for the Rebels.
And I love the tempo of the offense. Right away, they're not hesitant. They're not in the huddle a long time as they're getting back to the line of scrimmage right away.
Quick passes have been their MO so far in the game. Another throw out there again. Alvarez again. And he's pushed out of bounds at about the 37-yard line.
And it looks like they like the matchup they have with Alvarez versus Gonzalez, you know, because that's one of the simplest routes to cover in that hitch, and it's one-on-one. Can you make the play? If you don't make the play, it turns into a first down.
Well, basically the same thing 2 times in a row, so they're seeing single coverage out here. And there's a stoppage in play on the field for some reason. Trying to get the stick set, and they wind the clock again. 9:22 left to go here in the first quarter. 2nd down and 2 from the 35-yard line, 36-yard line. And there's a quick handoff inside, and he pushes forward for a couple of yards, and that's going to be close to a first down.
Great job by that defensive line of Golden Valley in that 40 even front. You have number 53, Jaden Harrington, didn't lose ground and just caused the traffic jam.
Yeah, and they got the stop, and that's going to bring up 3rd down now. 3rd and short, just inside the 35-yard line. Golden Valley looking for the stop here.
They go back to that power.
Handoff to Ellis once again. He slips a tackler and works his way up to the 24-yard line, and a flag is thrown, and it looks like it's going to be a holding call.
And that's one of those plays where you're so frustrated as a coach because the play had already went outside. If you're that offensive guard, you don't even have to hold. You just have to turn your body and get in the way.
That's exactly right. So something that obviously Kerry Mills would like to call another timeout and have a conversation with them about, I'm sure. So now that's going to move them back to the original line of scrimmage and bring up 3rd and 10. And you can pretty much assume they're going to go pass now.
You guys drop the roster?
Yes.
Gotcha, yes.
the Golden Valley runner brought our roster back. That was an amazing effort by the young man. I thought we'd never see that again.
Yeah, we had a piece of paper get away from us there. Nice and breezy here atop the press box at South High tonight. And there's a swing pass out to the left side. Once again, Angel Alvarez out there on the left side now as opposed to the right. And he pushes forward close to a first down, but he's just short, and that's going to bring up fourth down.
And that's going to be close. They may have to bring those chains out, but they go ahead and give that fourth down signal saying it's short.
Well, they're going to spot it on the line, and that yardstick over there is about 2 feet ahead of that line, so it's going to be short, but you can see now the Rebels are going to probably give a pretty good push, I'm assuming, up the middle.
Absolutely. Playing with confidence, they come back out in the trips open set, or the trip set.
Quick handoff to the near side, and penalty markers fly again, and that's going to probably be another holding call against the Rebels.
And that also may change what coach comes up with, because 4th and 10 is a lot different than 4th and 1.
Now that's going to move them back now 10 yards from the spot of that foul, and that's going to push them back just beyond the 45-yard line and still be fourth down. So you would think punt here, but not Mills, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, you're on the Golden Valley side of the football field, kind of in no man's land. And this tells you that you have confidence in your defense, regardless if you get this or not.
Well, the one thing that we haven't seen, which I'd be really interested in seeing, is a ball thrown further than 5 yards down the field. So
Yes.
Let's see if they actually have that in the bag. He's been getting good protection so far, so we're going to wait and see if the ball actually gets slung down the field. They're going to need to get 11 yards for the first down. So 7:03 right now left to go here in the first quarter. 4th and 11 from the 45-yard line. Guzman drops back to pass, and it's just off the hands of the receiver. And the Rebels are going to turn the ball over on downs. And he had that one.
Yes, when that receiver goes back and looks at film, he's going to say, oh, alligator armed it.
And there was nobody in front of him, Kenny.
You know, one of the things that we try to teach young receivers at the collegiate level is to not look for the ball so soon. You have to run harder at the beginning of the route and actually try your best to extend and play the ball at the end. Right there, he's going to reevaluate that when he gets film. Nonetheless, 1st and 10, Golden Valley heading north.
So their first set of downs in at quarterback for them, number 3, Markel Bruley. And there's a quick handoff and a good push by the Bulldogs up front and a pickup of about 4 yards on the play.
If you're Coach Kane and the Bulldogs, you got to be feeling pretty dang good because you just got bailed out after a great drive from South High, and now you have an opportunity with great field position. 2nd and 5, Golden Valley.
6:26 left to go here in the first quarter. The game tied at 0. Golden Valley on their second play of their possession here. And a handoff to number 22, Isaiah Coronado. Coronado brought down really quickly. And, of course, on the tackle, Daniel Lomax, who plays both ways.
And
boy, he got to the backfield quickly.
And as they say, Daniel Lomax, I see his dad down here, Mr. Lomax over here at the 35 with just as much energy. 3rd and 4 for Golden Valley.
3rd and 4 from the 49-yard line. I-back set. And a handoff to the fullback, and he pushes forward for about 3 yards.
Number 8, Isaiah Ali.
And for Golden Valley, they're going to be
Isaiah
short.
Ali, the fullback for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, so let's see if they have the same kind of confidence that Coach Mills had getting ready to go for it. And you don't see much special teams personnel running on, so it looks like they're going to give it a shot as well.
Well, the way the Bulldogs have been running the ball so far, I think the confidence is starting to build, and they have a bunch of those big boys on the front there just giving a push.
Yes.
I formation once again. And it looks like they're going to call a timeout. So Kane wants to speak to his team and talk this one over.
You talked about that huge offensive line of Golden Valley. One that stuck out immediately for me was number 53, Jaden Harrington. has to be big as a refrigerator down there.
Hey, fans, we'd like to thank our administration of the Kern High School District, Superintendent Brian Schaefer, Deputy Superintendent Scott Cole, Associate Superintendent Brenda Lewis, Associate Superintendent Dr. Dean McGee, and Associate Superintendent Dr. Mike Zolfa.
Well, I'll tell you, 3/4 of the way or halfway through the first quarter time, and I got to tell you, you got a voice worth $1 million, sir.
Well, thank you, Kenny. And it's always makes it easier on me when I've got a guy up here that actually knows something about football, because I can tell you down and distance, and that's about it. And, of course, Julian Wilson, our man up here, I keep telling him that he needs to quit. He's won. I don't think he can work out and I don't think those arms can get any bigger, Julian. 4th and 2, handoff to the fullback, and it looks like a first down for the Bulldogs. No penalty flags thrown.
Huge, confident call by Coach Kane and the Golden Valley staff to go with the fullback dive back-to-back. Everybody in the stadium knows it's coming. That's confidence.
Well, and I think that defensive line knows it's coming too, and I don't know if they can do much to stop it. Really getting good push up front by the Bulldogs, and that may be their best defensive weapon today, is pushing the Rebels down the field and eating clock.
Absolutely.
So 4:45 here to go in the first quarter. Game tied at 0. Bulldog ball at the 43-yard line. Handoff to the running back. And that's going to be a pickup of about 3 yards on that play, maybe 4. Handoff to number 22, Isaiah Coronado. And once again, Coronado, we're going to be talking about him all night long. And, of course, the reason we're going to be talking about him is because Simeon Trimble is not in the game this evening, who is their main carrier.
Have to wonder what happened to the young man.
What I have heard, though, is that they have a lot of faith in Isaiah Coronado. And so I talked to the coaching staff earlier in the game, and, boy, they were really, really keen on him. And they said he runs downhill just like that. Holy cow. Big pickup on the play. And he burst through that hole and it got tripped up, or it was 6 points.
Mr. Myers, I got goosebumps just seeing him hit the hole. As explosive as he did, they came with an end-around motion, and I see the hair and goosebumps on your arms as well.
That was incredible.
Yeah, the play design was so fantastic. End-around motion, inside run, great action.
Great hole on the left side to spring him free, and, boy, he hit that gap and took off. They said he's a downhill runner. He doesn't go side to side very much, but he does go downhill. So if they open up a gap for him, he's going to be gone. And a penalty marker comes flying in. And we're going to get the call from the white hat here. And that's going to be holding. The first one called against the Bulldogs this evening.
Well, Tom, while we got a quick second to catch our breath as fast as the offenses are getting to the line of scrimmage, very impressed with Golden Valley's ability to run the ball inside right away. Nothing pretty outside of that motion that you see, but they're running the ball in between the tackles and challenging the South High defensive line to make a play.
Well, and honestly, what we've seen so far is all run plays, fullback and running back. And so now they're going to go from the shotgun. And, of course, now we've got a flag coming in on that one. And let's see what the call is from the white hat. And, of course, the Rebels are cheering. They think that they've got it, and it looks like it's going to be backing them up. So looking at a false start. 3:26 left to go here in the first quarter, and it is indeed a false start. And now the Bulldogs are getting moved back, and, boy, I'll tell you what, the first down marker, they'd have to get all the way to the 19-yard line, and they've been backed up all the way to the 46.
You know, and if you're watching, you wonder how a team starts the season 0-2. Penalties like that will do it.
The conversation I had with Coach last week about this same team was an incident exactly like this happened last week. So they really need to get focused in on control, he said, and sticking to a game plan and following that game plan. So they're carrying number 22, Isaiah Coronado, and he's dragged down at about the 44-yard line. On the tackle, number 9, Caleb Peebles.
What I like about what Caleb did, he almost had the penalty grabbing the back of the jersey. He was cognitively aware to not pull him down, just did it enough to slow him down so he can wrap him up. Great instincts by the young man.
So 3rd and long at the 44-yard line.
Jet sweep to the outside.
And for Golden Valley, That was Donovan Valdovinos in motion.
Donovan Valdovinos, and he is pushed out by number 10.
And Valdovinos gains about 5 yards on that play. They're slowly creeping back towards it, but it's fourth down now. And about 23 yards to go.
Yeah, and you're back in that no man's land that you talk about, being on the opponent's side of the field, but outside of field goal kicking range. So you wonder what Coach Kane's going to come up with. Fourth and about 20.
Well, do you really want to give the Rebels the ball back in this position as opposed to pinning them down close to their end zone?
Definitely wouldn't.
Especially with as long as you have to go. And I think he's trying to draw them off sides to get a few more yards. And there, it's going to be a punt. And if it stops short, or it's going to bounce and it's going to roll right into the end zone about 3 yards too long.
Yeah, and that's the catch 22 by number 22.
Nice kick by Coronado. So 2:14 left to go here in the first quarter. The game tied at 0 still. And South High, tell you what, probably knocked a little bit back on their heels by that Bulldog offense.
Well, if you come in looking at records and watching the news without knowing these teams, you think that Golden Valley's not that well coached. But I was very impressed with that drive. Even though they had to punt the ball away, they changed the field position. You know, it's a battle of field position in some of these games as well, so you got to be strategic. It's chess, not checkers.
Well, and we know what the Bulldogs can do now. They can get the ball running, but can they control the penalties?
That will be the key.
So 1st and 10 for the Rebels from the 20-yard line. Guzman back to pass.
Oh, and it's picked off!
It's intercepted on the interception number 16, Ernesto Romero. Touchdown, Bulldogs.
Wow, amazing read by the young man. They ran that swing route. He didn't panic. Thrown right to him. Quarterback never saw him. Touchdown, Golden Valley to the house.
And that pass was thrown to Angel Alvarez, number 4 for the Rebels. How many times? And they creeped it, and he cheated it, and then it bit the Rebels right in the hind end.
Absolutely, Mr. Myers. You hit the nail on the head because he threw that so comfortable like he was in practice. He looked to the left, jab stepped, went to the swing route as if it was just a relief route, not ever seeing the outside backer make that play.
And the Bulldogs draw first blood on the scoreboard now. 6-0, 2:08 left to go here in the first quarter. And now on to kick. It looks like number 4, Everardo Rueda.
And as a former DB, I love it.
Pick 6 all day long. That's a fantastic play by the Bulldogs.
Oh, and
it's off the post and no good.
That can come back to hunt a team that has trouble moving the football in the air. So we got a 6-0 game by Golden Valley.
So once again, 2:08 left to go here in the first quarter. It's the Golden Valley Bulldogs 6, the South High Rebels 0. And a little unexpected.
Definitely unexpected because we focus on offense so much as fans, as commentators sometimes, that we forget that all it takes is one play on defense to make a difference. And how about that play by number 16 for Golden Valley? Just stepping, it's one of the plays that you dream about the night before a game as a defensive player.
Romero definitely got a good jump on that ball. And they're going to think twice about just lollygagging and throwing it over.
Absolutely.
Oh, boy. So we got a game.
and Tom, I got to tell you, I thought he was going to drop it. It was such a gimme. You know, sometimes you get those dream passes. He made the play. Touchdown, and that could be play of the week if they get this win.
So Rueda now kicking off. He put that one deep. A nice high kick. Fielded about the 7-yard line and brought out.
Fumble.
And the ball stripped away,
Ball's
but
loose.
He may have been down. He's picked up and carried back, and they didn't.
I don't know.
The umpire is blowing it dead and giving it back to the Rebels. He said he was down.
Boy, I tell you.
And it was close. He may have been down.
That was extremely close. I'm going to tell you what I saw. It looks like, and he definitely has a better view than I do, but it looks like he may have been laying on the defender as it was fumbled. Oh.
And I am mouthing the same thing to Kenny as he's saying it because we both saw the same thing.
Wow.
That may be one that they wish they could get back, but hey, the Rebels get a break. And it looks like we got a timeout, and that's going to be a timeout called by the Golden Valley Bulldogs. Hey, guess what, everybody? So tonight on the production, it's myself, Kenny Calvin, Julian Wilson on camera. Our photos are being done by Nick Ellis, and doing the story this evening, Adam Waybright. Also, the other game of the week that's on this evening, that one's being called over at Bakersfield High School, and Johnny Soper is on the call on that. Oh, Johnny's dad built one of my houses for me. Rick Van Horn's on with him. Kevin Willie's also doing camera and production over there. So, once again, hey, and if you haven't had a chance, folks, pick up the Achieve magazine. It's available at all Kern Schools Federal Credit Union locations right now, as well as pretty much every administration office in the Kern High School district of every school. The Achieve magazine, the award-winning Achieve magazine, available through the Kern High Network.
Absolutely. My buddy Roger Fessler does such a fantastic job getting everybody secured with sponsorships. Shout out to my man, Mr. Fessler.
We'd also like to thank some of our sponsors. Hey, BC Renegades, Bakersfield College. Got a Renegade game tomorrow, I believe, that you're calling with our good friend Vance Palm.
Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be amazing to see that field under the lights, Mr.
Yeah, we'd
Myers.
also like to thank Motor City GMC for their support of Kern High School and the Kern High School Network. Quick handoff inside, a pickup of about 3 yards on the play.
So you can see South High, after that pick to the house, try to get back to the basics, and go with some inside run and not give it back so quickly.
Absolutely. But, hey, don't talk too soon because number 4, Angel Alvarez, is coming back in, and he's going to be over here on the near side.
Twins right, shotgun set.
Guzman back to pass, and he's pressured, and he's got room over there on the far side. Dodges one tackler, gets taken down at about the 43-yard line, and that's going to be a first down. Good scramble by the quarterback.
It's amazing what making a mistake like that last interception will do to a quarterback's focus, because he almost made another one and forced the ball. Instead, he pulls it down, gets what he can get, and ends up getting the first down. Great decision by the young man.
And if you're the Bulldog defense, what do you do to stop that? You got to maybe run a little more contain on that blind side on him.
Absolutely. Have to stay home and contain on the backside.
59 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. There's a handoff on the right side.
And I'm going to tell you what I saw as they ran that power right there. Lomax Jr. is going to be told by his coaches to carry that ball a little tighter to the body, young man, because you're swinging it out there and you got guys coming from behind you that you don't see.
Sometimes they get a little footloose and fancy free with the ball and have to be reminded quite often, I'm sure.
Absolutely. 2nd and 10 for South High.
Lomax, the main back out of the backfield for the South High Rebels. Guzman, of course, the quarterback. And then we saw quite a few passes to number 4, Angel Alvarez, earlier on. He's down here on the near side. And going in motion. And there's nowhere for him to go. Trying to pick up the number there. That's number 3, King Ellis. And there's a big loss on that play. Great penetration there by the Bulldog defense.
Yeah, I'll tell you why. Ernesto Romero, he did exactly what we talked about 2 plays ago. Staying at home and keeping containment. Turned that quick run, which could have netted yardage, into an 8-yard loss. Great job by the young man.
6 seconds left to go, and it looks like the clock has stopped because he did get out of bounds. This will be the final play of the first quarter.
Trips left set for South High.
And penalty markers fly, and that's going to be a delay of game. And once again, we had that conversation. They are running this clock a lot faster this year to speed the flow of the game up. So you're going to see more delay of game calls throughout the season.
Absolutely, and what coaches have to remind their players at the end of bad plays, stop pouting, guys, and get back to the huddle, because that was the result of that last yardage loss.
So right now it's 3rd down and 21 for the South High Rebels. 5 seconds on the clock here in the first quarter. Guzman lets it fly, and it's way long, and that's going to be incomplete, and they're going to let the clock run out. That's the end of the first quarter. So at the end of the first quarter here, it's the South High Rebels 0, and the visitors, the Golden Valley Bulldogs 6. We're going to be right back after this.
So while your financial life may start out with a Rocky Raccoon account, as you grow, we'll be with you every step of the way. From your first car and everyone thereafter, to investing in your family's future, to buying that special house you'll call home. Current Schools. Together, we have something special.
Welcome to the city, Motor City, where it's summer sell down.
Get ready to move, get ready to groove, get ready to fly.
Drive.
And welcome back to the Current High Network and our broadcast of the 2019 football season. Quick shout out to the Golden Valley High School Administration, Principal Paul Hellman, Assistant Principal Jerry Antoine, Assistant Principal Administration Kyle Wiley, our good friend and former broadcaster here on the Current High Network, Dean of Students Pablo Reyes, Dean of Administration Jennifer Webb, Athletic Director Robert Haskell, and Activities Director Valerie Black. And thank you for all that you do as administrators of our fine young people. So once again, it looks like it's 4th and long, and the Rebels are going to punt now. Start of the second quarter here.
Oh.
It looks like, it's a fake. And there's blockers out ahead, but it's blown up over there on the far side. Who was that?
I don't know, but that was a very questionable decision by the South High
tackle
staff.
over there on the far side. I think that was number 6, Donovan Valdivinos, that made the hit on the punter. And the Bulldogs are going to have the ball right at about the 40-yard line. It looks like the 30 to me because that's where the white hat is standing. It's going to be the 30-yard line. The PA announcer here at South High called it wishful thinking at the 40. and now he has corrected himself.
And I'll take that back, Mr. Myers, because what it looks like happened, it looks like the Golden Valley defender had the edge and could possibly block that, and there was a decision made by the punter to try to get around him because he wouldn't have been able to get the kickoff.
Well, with the exception of Valdivinos that made the hit, they had blockers out in front that were doing their job and making a way for him. So had he not made that hit, the first down very well could have happened.
Absolutely.
So now the Bulldogs go into the air for the first time, and it's a pass. It's picked. It's caught. Is it caught? And his helmet comes off. But it's a reception.
Amazing
laid out
grab.
pass, and I think that was number 6, Valdivinos.
Amazing call in sudden change. One of the things people underestimate is after a turnover, you want to go for the throat of the team right away, and that's exactly what they did with that seam route. Perfect pass, perfect catch. That might be play of the week.
Ironically, though, we have not seen a pass play out of the Bulldogs yet this evening. They immediately go to the air, and I'm surprised that they're not going to go heavy package here now. But that's a handoff. Of course, number 22, Isaiah Coronado, and he's met a little bit right at the line. It was 1st and goal. It's going to lose about a half a yard on the play.
Number 22, Isaiah Coronado.
And it's going to bring up 2nd and goal from just beyond the 5-yard line.
2nd down and goal.
How about the guts of Coach Kane to call that play-action pass when you haven't passed all game? But offensive play calling is about keeping the defense off balance. Fantastic job, fantastic play call.
Well, nobody, including the secondary, saw that one coming. And now look what we got here. Now they're going I formation. And it's another pass out to the side. He's got the fullback, or a tight end. And that tight end's number 15, Richard Salcido. Touchdown, Bulldogs.
If you could see my mouth right now, ladies and gentlemen, it's wide open. Because as we just talked about, keeping the defense off balance, they go play-action pass again, flood right, hit the tight end, touchdown, Golden Valley, and they are very impressive.
If I was a betting man in Vegas right now, I would have bet with I formation they were going to go fullback up the middle. And instead, they pulled everybody in, put their tight end out to the wide side and hit him wide open, and he didn't get covered. He had 1 or 2 yards between him and the defender.
Absolutely.
Perfect play call.
Perfect play call. Perfect pass by that quarterback who's putting on a display as they go
now
for 2.
It looks like it's going to be a quarterback keeper, and he's going to try to get in for 2, and he
Whoa.
pushes the defender off, and does he get in? He does get in. 2-point conversion, good.
Oh,
Are you kidding me?
I think I have a new favorite player.
Valdovinos on the score. 10:48 left to go here in the second quarter. And the Golden Valley Bulldogs lead the South High Rebels 14-0.
How about that? Let's dissect that play quickly. They go with the naked boot, quarterback keeper. He's one on 4 South High defenders. He stiff arms 1 and carries the other 3 across the pylon for the 2-point conversion. Fantastic job by that young man on that drive.
I believe the 3 words are, get off me.
Get off me.
Get off me. And he pushed him off and dragged the other ones in with him.
Wow. Boy, I got to tell you, this is a classic example of why they play the game. If you look at what happened in the previous weeks, you come into this game, this is going to be a blowout by South High. They coming off a win. Golden Valley's 0-2 with a new coach.
Golden Valley has not won a game in their last 19 tries.
Wow.
The last time they won a game was in November of 2017.
Oh,
they are
my
playing
goodness.
like champions right now.
Well, I got to tell
We are
you.
very impressed up here in the press box just watching this contest right now, watching this Golden Valley team that seems to really be motivated to win this game.
Well, as the ball is kicked off, I did Arvin in Foothill last week. Foothill snapped the losing streak. Maybe I'm good luck.
Well, we may see something here. You guys heard it here first. Kenny Calvin is the good luck charm.
Return brought down by number 10, Cameron Lopez.
Hey, they put it in an article once when I was a Renegade that I was a good luck charm, so I'm sticking to that.
So South High's going to have the ball at their own 27-yard line. 1st and 10. 10:41 to go here in the second quarter, and they're trailing 14-0.
Well, I hope I don't get texts from all my South High buddies about giving the luck to the wrong guy on
Your
a home
phone
game.
may be going off any second now.
Shotgun set. Twins right. Wing T. Shotgun set.
And a late entry by the defense. And then he almost makes the tackle. Number 62 was late getting into the game for Golden Valley, Jose Chavez, and just missed the tackle. Peebles on the carry for the Rebels. And it pushed forward for about 2 yards, and it's going to bring up 2nd down and 8 from the 29-yard line.
Amazing effort by Chavez. Getting on the field last second and getting a hand on the guy to slow him down.
He almost had him.
2nd and 8.
And now it looks like there's going to be a timeout called by the Rebels. Their second of the half. That'll leave them with 1.
Remember, friends, you can support the Rebel Regiment by buying
And so far, Kenny Calvin,
a Rebel car
we are seeing a team in the Golden Valley Bulldogs that I don't think anybody has seen for a couple of seasons.
Absolutely, and I got to be totally honest with you guys. I saw the assignments come out this week. You know, I'm a former driller. I was excited to see them at home. I get this game. I'm like, oh, okay, it's good. It should be good to watch. I got Kane. He's my buddy. I got my former linebacker that I coached in Duran Mackey on the sideline for South High. So I found some motivation to be here. But this is a fantastic game and a fantastic display of football by both teams.
Absolutely.
But Golden Valley just playing their hearts out right now and playing with purpose.
Absolutely. This score just in, Paramount trailing Bakersfield High School 10-0 right now in the early going over there. Actually, I think it's halftime because they started about a half an hour earlier than we did. But a VHS squad that's only put up 10 points, what do you think of that?
Well, it's going to take some time for Coach to find the pieces. I'm excited for Ricky Easterwood. I watched him work out all summer. His dad's a great friend as we got South High. Oh, and the fumble! Another fumble, Golden Valley. And guess who? Number 16 already has a touchdown.
Ernesto Romero.
And now he has the fumble recovery. This guy is player of the week already.
And Daniel Lomax wants to get that ball back. And we had that conversation. Carrying that ball out a little bit too far and not holstering that thing the way you're supposed to is going to yield to that result. And right now, Golden Valley has every advantage in this game. They're on the 40-yard line, 9:59 to go here in the first half. Would you believe it?
Well, hey, we got to be honest, guys. This is a rivalry. These schools are geographically a mile or two within each other. A lot of these kids went to school together.
In junior high.
Absolutely. You played in youth football together. Whether the record is good or not, you're going to get high-impact competition. And I'm impressed with Golden Valley and Coach Kane.
So now Markel Bruley, and there's a handoff there. And the defense of the Rebels, they give up a yard on that, but get a whole push back into the backfield, but he's going to gain a yard on the play. And that was number 22 on the carry there, Isaiah Coronado.
Huge hit by number 51 for South High, though.
William Velasquez, excuse me. And it looks like the front line of that Rebel defense is playing now like they've been embarrassed.
Absolutely.
And they're trying to stop it.
And one of the things that Golden Valley is going to give you right now is a whole lot of that first quarter run game that we saw because they're up 14-0. No reason to rush and throw the ball right back in the air. And that's exactly what they do.
There's a slant over there to the far side, number 6, Donovan Valdivinos, and he can't handle it. It's thrown a little bit behind him, and then that's going to bring up 3rd down and 9 for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, and that's one of those questionable calls where, you know, Coach Kane, he doesn't want to be satisfied with the lead that he has. He wants to continue to keep the pedal to the metal. But you're a team that doesn't throw it often. You know what you do well. When you have a game where you're leading in somewhere where you want to be, you want to stick to what you do well to continue to capitalize on that. 2nd and 8 for Golden Valley. They go with the corner route, and it's overthrown.
That was intended for Valdivinos. Bruley threw that one just a little bit long. And, of course, good thing he did because the defender for the Rebels actually got a hand on it. Had it been thrown a little shorter, it might have been a pick.
Absolutely. And if you go back to what I was talking about before the snap, you go with 2 straight passes after you just get a turnover. It's still 9 minutes left in the second quarter. You would like to run more clock because you're the underdog here. You don't want to give that ball right back to an explosive South High offense because one score puts them right back into this football game.
Yeah, the last 2 plays, they've only run 12 seconds off the clock, and you really want to eat a whole lot more than that and not give the Rebels any reason or any time. And it looked like almost a false start, but they didn't call it. Oh! And there's a sack in the backfield, and the Rebels are going to get the ball back. And that's number 8 on the tackle there, Hassan Lopez. And the Rebels will take over at the 47-yard line. 8:59 here to go in the second quarter.
Tough sequence of events for Golden Valley because I wish they could hear me right now. That's a situation where you have field position. You just want to use as much of that clock as you can and try to get any kind of points out of that drive. A field goal does you just as much justice as a touchdown in that possession. Nonetheless, you throw it twice or 3 out of 4 times. You try to. You get sacked, 2 incomplete passes, and now you're punting right back to an explosive.
And I'm sure they wish they had that one back. So there's a inside jet sweep. And that was number 3, King Ellis, on the carry there. Again, if we're a little late on the calls, it's because these South High jerseys are really hard to read from where we're located. That light gray and baby blue makes it pretty complicated for us. We're doing the best we can to keep up on all the ball carriers and also on the tacklers. There's good defense by Valdivinos over there. Guzman threw the ball in there, but even better defense. And, of course, King Ellis asking for a flag on the play there. And now it's going to be 3rd down and 7 from the 50-yard line for the Rebels. 8:23 left to go here in the second quarter.
And South High doing exactly the opposite of what Golden Valley needed to do. I think they still have an opportunity to run the football instead of getting pass happy.
So Guzman rolling out to his right and throws. And it was caught, but then bobbled And, of course, who's over there but Valdivinos once again on the defense. That's 2 defensive stops he's done on this series. Where he's knocked the ball away. That was a catchable ball both times.
Very, very impressed by this Golden Valley team on both sides of the football. The work ethic and the passion that you see in each play has been light years above what South High has given us if you're watching this from a visual perspective.
Sure. Well, I mean, obviously, we're seeing Valdivinos do his part. And then, of course, number 16, Ernesto Romero, has done his part. We got two defensive stars on this squad tonight for the Bulldogs. 8:17 left to go here in the first half, 14-0. Golden Valley leading the South High Rebels. And the Rebels now on to punt from the 50-yard line. Valdivinos is back. And he's going to field that. Oh, he's going to let it go. And then he's going to pick it up. Oh, no.
Oh, it's South High.
And is it fumbled or recovered? He
recovered
it, but he should have either spotted it earlier or let it go. Made a bad decision late. And now the Bulldogs lost about 20 yards on the play and have the ball inside the 5-yard line, 1st and 10.
Well, Tom, I'll tell you. I tell my kids where all my gray hair comes from is from plays like that as a coach. Because you have a situation where you should clearly get away from the football if you can't catch it. Yet you go back and touch it on the 2-yard line and nearly give it back to the team that just punted it. 1st and 10, Golden Valley heading south.
That was definitely a what were you thinking moment. One that I know Valdivinos, who has been just lights out so far, making good decisions tonight, made a not-so-great decision there.
Well, I joked with my wife.
I'm sure the senior wishes that he could have that one back. So now we're going to see what the Bulldogs are made of here in their 4th set of plays. And I'm hazarding a guess that they're going to go heavy package here.
It looks like it. They go power right off the right side through the 26 hole.
And that's a nice pickup there, and the clock is still running.
And imagine if you did that 2 drives ago. Look, we're still 7:50 remaining to play in the second quarter. The quarter could be almost over if they had took that philosophy a couple drives ago. Nonetheless, 2nd and 5, Golden Valley in pretty good shape.
Yeah, they're at the 7-yard line now. And have about 5, maybe 6 yards to go. And I'm hazarding a guess that this is going to be another run play. Quarterback under center, hand off to the fullback.
Woo.
And he gets a good push, but boy, he is drilled over there on the far side.
Huge hit.
Big tackle.
You definitely like
that
the
was
approach.
Number 8, Isaiah Ali. And Lomax just drilled him.
And you bet Lomax playing with a chip on his shoulder after those turnovers as well.
Now, they haven't moved the sticks yet. Still waiting to see if they're going to. I think that they were trying to check to see if it was going to be a first down. Looks like it's not going to be. It's going to be 3rd down and short from right at about the 11-yard line.
High formation for Golden Valley.
And they hand it off once again to the fullback. And, he gets through the hole. Nice cut, and what a pickup. Pickup of about 15 yards on the play, and then a penalty flag flies right at the end of the play.
That should be a dead ball. Personal foul.
And the Rebels are signaling that it's against Golden Valley. Golden Valley's not saying much yet, waiting on the decision from the White Hat. But I will say this, that the official holding the ball is pointing in the direction. And, of course, the official over there, once again, looks like a sideline warning now. They're going to mark that off. But it's still going to result in a first down for the Bulldogs. That's only going to be a 5-yard penalty. But again, they already had the flag in the first quarter fairly early, too, within the first minute of the game. Now, there's something to be said for being excited about your team, but at the same time, to take a penalty as a result of it. So now the Bulldogs have the ball. First down and 10, 6:36 to go here in the second quarter at the 23-yard line.
They go with the counter. He breaks the tackle, gets outside. One
Great
man
job
to beat.
Bouncing to the outside. And a good pickup on the play. And, of course, that's number 22, Isaiah Coronado once again. Coronado hit a wall and then bounced off of it to the outside and was able to pick up about another 10, 15 yards on the play.
I got to tell you, Coronado gets the tough inside yards, but right there he showed you a flash of his speed. Great job getting around the edge and earning that first down.
And we saw that in the first quarter when he hit that hole and took off like a rocket to pick up about 25 yards on that play.
Absolutely gave me and you goosebumps. I saw him.
Indeed. So now first down once again for the Bulldogs at the 40-yard line, and running the offense and controlling the ball, just what the doctor had ordered. And that pass was a little short, and it skipped off the ground, and it's called incomplete. Valdovinos wants a second opinion, but the back judge isn't having it and calls it incomplete. 2nd and 10.
And that was one of the smallest windows you will ever see a slant route thrown, because 1 yard off, and that was going to the house for the South High Rebels.
Kind of a dangerous play there, absolutely. And when they've had so much success running the ball so far and eating clock, you'd like to see, if you're the Bulldogs, you'd like to see them try to eat as much of that up to get out of this quarter and get out of this half with a 14-0 lead going into the locker room.
Absolutely. I think I shot Coach K. Oh, and they fumbled a snap.
Fumble on the snap. Guzman picks it up, though. Not Guzman, excuse me. Bruley picks up the ball and moves it forward and gains a couple of yards on the play. So a busted play turns into something for him. And when things are going right, things are going right. And we got an official timeout as a Rebel is down on the field right now.
Well, I'll tell you, Mr. Myers, it's good to see Golden Valley go back to what we thought they should do a couple drives ago, because they're being conscious that they have a lead. They're the team that's undermanned, the underdog. You're in a great situation right here. You don't want to contribute to any more mistakes. Play basic football, get to the half, and regroup and come out and try to finish this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you what, it's one of those things that we talk about and that you want to see is that you want to see Golden Valley kind of mix it up just a little bit, and maybe that slant pass a little earlier was okay. Maybe not the best choice of the quarterback to throw it there. Maybe should have thrown it away or thrown it long.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, the defense starts creeping, and I can guarantee you right now the guys over to our right on those microphones, or wherever they were on the right, now I guess they're on the left, those Bulldog spotters are watching this defense of the Rebels and watching what their tendencies are.
Yes.
And adjusting that offense and running those plays accordingly.
Absolutely. That's great insight, because it's a chess match. It's a true chess match. And I was going to say earlier, I joke with my wife because she hates seeing football played with inside run teams. But some of these inside run teams do such a great job with inside run that it makes their play action pass game that much more valuable when it's important.
Absolutely. And so the player shaking up on the play for the Rebels, trying to get that number for you. Looks like either number 45 or number 43.
Big third down here for the Rebel defense.
As soon as I have that, we'll inform you of who that player was. Looks like number 45 for the Rebels. And I don't have that number on my roster.
Oh, great job blocking that quick slant pass.
And that's going to bring up 4th down now for the Bulldogs. And once again, trying to catch the Rebels a little bit off. Well, the Rebels seem to think that it's going to be punted now, and it looks like it's going to be. So, of course, going back to pass Isaiah Coronado, their running back, if indeed he's the punter, which I think he is.
And if you're South High, what you're telling your teammates are, hey, guys, let's block, let's get a wedge, because one play puts us right back into this football game. It's still 5 minutes left to play in this quarter.
That's absolutely right. 5:11 to go here in the second quarter. Bulldogs on top, 14-0. And if they're not careful, they're going to get a delay of game called here. Still trying to figure out who's going where. And I'm waiting for the official to, and sure enough, it's going to be a delay of game.
And that's exactly what you don't want when you're on your own side of the field, punting to some dangerous weapons for South High Rebels. One thing in the history of South High, they always have great special teams play in the return game.
Absolutely. And it looks like back on the far side over there, I think that's King Ellis. I could be wrong. Again, we can't read the numbers on them, so we're trying to figure out who they are. And not a great punt, but probably a smart punt, and that's going to roll out of bounds at about the 35-yard line.
And that's exactly what you want to do.
And, of course, Kerry Mills is spotting it for the official. And the official gave him a foot.
Coach Mills, I like your style.
5 minutes remaining here in the first half.
Still a little bit of a sense of humor, down 14-0 here in the first half. But then again, we know how confident the South High Rebels coach is and how confident his players can be. So we're going to see if they can come to it now, at least try to close the gap in that 14-0 lead that the Bulldogs have on them. 5:03 left to go. Guzman back to pass, and he throws one up, and that's going to be caught.
Nice back shoulder throw.
Ralph Gonzalez out there was playing. Well, it was Gonzalez. He was playing the receiver, number 4, Angel Alvarez. But unfortunately, he didn't turn to look and see where the ball was, and that one just got right in there. That was easily defendable had he turned around.
Yeah, one of the tough things about playing DB on an underthrown ball is the fact that the receiver knows what route is being ran, and you're trying to stay on top of him. So just a tough break.
So an underthrown ball happens to find its mark, and now the South High Rebels are on the 45-yard line of the Bulldogs, and that one's up in the air.
Woo!
And they're testing Gonzalez over there on the left side. And, of course, Valdivinos is right there, too. He almost got to it and was going to have a pick six. There was nobody out there.
Yeah, they've been going after Gonzalez all day. Quick slant. One of the things you try to tell your wide receiver, if you cannot catch it, bat it down, not up.
And Gonzalez is over there after that last play having a conversation with his coach. And he's playing that receiver on the inside. And, of course, the ball now coming to the near side. And that one thrown, and it's dropped at the 32-yard line.
I got to tell you, I'm impressed with that throw, though. Rolling left.
And throwing right.
And having to put that ball pinpointed between that defender and the slide line, that was an amazing throw by the young man. We see some great play out of these quarterbacks.
And that was a catchable ball. King Ellis couldn't hold on to it. But it was right in there, and it slipped right through his hands.
I believe King Ellis is the son of my good buddy LaKendrick Ellis.
So here we are, third down at the 45-yard line.
Trips open set.
Nice toss out to the far side and a pickup of about 5 yards on the play.
Tom, I got to tell you, I think they were looking for the hook and lateral right there because they had the running back swinging. If they had enough room, he may have pitched that.
He was coming around that backside pretty quick, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, Tyrone Willis with the reception on that play. And now it's 4th down and 6 from the 41-yard line for the Rebels. 3:45 here to go, and the clock is running.
Hey,
Rebels trailing 14-0 as well. And, Kenny, would you have called 14-0 in favor of the Bulldogs at the beginning of this game?
New coach, 0-2 start, no way. I would never had called that. And James Kane is a good friend of mine, not taking anything away from him, but South High has been playing a high-level brand of football. But I got to be honest with you, I'm very impressed with this Golden Valley defense up front. They're playing well in the secondary with the pick to the house already. They're stripping the ball, causing fumbles. Each level of the defense is playing high-level football. You got to love it.
Yeah, South High's going to have a timeout here and talk it over to try and get a little bit of an idea of what to do on this 4th and 6. And, you know, again, 3:18 left to go here in the first half. They really don't want to give the ball, but they don't have to. They'd like to get a score to knock that score down just a little bit. So we're going to find out what kind of a defense the Bulldogs have, hopefully in their favor. They would like to go into the half with a 14-0 lead.
This is a huge play. This is a season-making play for Golden Valley right here, because if you give up a first down and give South High an opportunity to put any points on the board, it boosts their confidence going into the second half. But if you're able to stop them, get the ball back, and possibly put your own points on the board with 3 minutes left, this changes your whole year. 4th and 6.
Here we go, 3:18 in the second quarter. Bulldogs looking to extend this series. 2 receivers over to the near side, and Guzman getting chased down, and he throws it.
Oh, and he drops it.
And again, a series of drop balls by the Bulldog receivers, and the ball gets turned over, and the Bulldogs have it. 3:09 to go.
Tough break for a quarterback that's putting it where it needs to be, keeping the play alive, scrambling as long as he can, putting his body in danger because you got about 900 pounds pursuing you, and you throw it back across your body, receiver wide open, hits him right in the midst. Incomplete. Heartbreaker.
And you got to give it. I'll tell you what, Manny Guzman has been throwing a good ball tonight,
Yes, he has.
and his receivers have let him down.
Absolutely.
So now the Bulldogs are going to come out. I think they're going to run the ball. What do you think?
I would say this. If you're not going to run the ball right now, you go play action pass to a safe fade route over here with all this field, because the touchdown hitting right now breaks their back.
Well, look who they got in the backfield right now. They're going heavy package. They're going play action. And now it looks like Bruley going to gain up quite a few yards on that play. Oh, they mark him out of bounds all the way back at the 48-yard line, but he got all the way up to about the 42. Still a good pickup on the play.
But you see my antennas, Tom? If you're not going to run it, you go play action to try to take the roof off, and that's exactly what they tried to do.
You called that exact play right there.
Absolutely, but the smart decision by the quarterback is to not force it. Get what you can get because you still have time. Don't force it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am hanging out with the oracle of football this evening, Mr. Kenny Calvin, who called the play.
I salute you, Mr. Myers.
There's a handoff on a jet sweep, but it fails as he tries to cut back inside, and he's going to pick up about a yard on the play. That's going to bring up 2nd down and 9 from about the 47-yard line.
And going back to that play before, what it does, it makes the South High team know that you can't just sit here and play run. We're going to try to test you, just like you talked about those assistant coaches, seeing them creep up. We're going to give you that play action look. But now they're going to go back to running the football.
And the job Kane is doing well of is he's drawing them inside the tackles, and then the quarterback is able to get outside and scramble.
Absolutely. Very impressed with Coach Kane's
So now
offense.
they're going the opposite set as the last time. And there's another handoff to number 22 once again. Is Isaiah Coronado. Oh, but a flag is thrown back at the 44-yard line, so that's not good news. That's going to be a holding call, I'm sure, against the Bulldogs.
And I see the frustration in the coaches' faces because the flag came out about 4 yards late after the tailback was already 4 yards past, and then you see that flag come out. Maybe he had a little trouble getting it out of his pocket.
I'm wrong. It's a face mask call on the Rebels.
Okay, that's why it was late.
And add on another 5 to 10 yards to that play. I don't know where it ended. If it's intentional, it's 10. If it's not, it's 5. So I'm pretty sure that they called that as an intentional. And now the Bulldogs have the ball at the 32-yard line. 2:10 left to go here in the first half. And they're driving.
Bulldogs
leading once again 14-0. And Coronado gets to the outside. I don't know if he's going to be caught down there in the corner. He gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Bulldogs. But hold on. Oh, no.
Wow.
Back at the 28-yard line. A penalty marker down on the field. And that's going to be against the Bulldogs. An opportunity squandered.
Oh, my goodness. And
holding. Oh, no.
And it has to break your heart because just like the earlier holding call that we saw on the inside, guys, if it's an outside run, all you have to do is turn. You don't have to grab. Just get in the way. Nonetheless.
Wow. A great run by Isaiah Coronado to get to the corner and get into the end zone, and it's all for nothing. Back at the 32-yard line. Back at the 29-yard line. That's where they threw the penalty marker. And then they paced off 10, and now that pushes them all the way back to the 39-yard line. The only good part about that is they're still eating clock. 1:52 left to go here. And that ball is batted down.
Almost
quick
caught.
Slant pass to the far side got batted down. And, yes, that was almost an interception as the defense came right up the middle and interfered in that pass play.
Well, one thing you talked about, Mr. Myers, is the fact that the South High defensive line has continued to play with attitude. You do see some other guys walking around with bad body language, but this South High defensive line is continuing to play at a high level with their antennas up. Great job getting your hands up. If you can't get there.
Yeah, and let's think about exactly what the South High defense has given up so far. They've only given up one touchdown of the two.
Yes.
The other one was a pick six.
Yes.
And then of that one, the ball they had already gotten on this side of the yardstick.
Absolutely.
Side of the midfield and scored. So, I mean, I will give one thing up is that the Bulldog offense is playing well, but the defense of the South High Rebels has not played a slouchy game. They're actually holding their own.
Absolutely. Golden Valley playing an opportunistic game. They've had some good luck. South High, a couple bad breaks, a couple bad turnovers. Your defense put in bad situations from going forward on fourth down from that punt. You know, and it's just tough to try to keep guys out of the end zone when they're playing with a short field.
And then here we see the same thing again, a penalty marker thrown against the offense, and then them having an immediately called after that, ended up with a delay of game. And right now, the Bulldogs looking long, looking deep, and it's picked off. And he caught it. And they got the ball at the 21-yard line. Interception by the Rebels. On the interception, number 10, Tyrone Wilson. And 1:39 left to go here in the first half. Mistakes on the part of the Bulldogs. And now the Rebels have the ball back with a chance to maybe put some points up on the board.
Well, it's great to see because we just talked about the body language of half of the Rebel defense. It's good to know that your free safety, who's the last line of that defense, is still walking around with his head up. Great play, playing on the ball. The one thing I'd like to see as a former defensive back coach, highest point the ball, catch it with your thumbs together, because as you're trying to basket catch it, you give the offensive guy an opportunity to knock that away.
Yeah, but that safety, he's also the star because he gets to play center field on that too.
Yes.
And that one thrown way out of bounds. I don't know if it was overthrown or thrown out of bounds, but Guzman uncharacteristically off the mark.
Yes. And what it was a great job by the Golden Valley defensive back getting a great jam on the receiver and forcing him out of bounds. Being physical with him. Great job by number 9.
So now, dual receivers to both sides. The Rebels definitely showing pass here. Now, granted, they could swing it out to the right side there, but they're looking deep. Guzman looking over the middle, and that's caught number 4, Angel Alvarez, and he's still on his feet. Finally dragged down at about the 35-yard line. But the clock is stopped for now until the chains get moved, but 1:23 left to go here in the first half.
Yeah, and it's getting a little chippy down there. That was some nice effort by both guys. Tough catch in the middle of traffic.
But did you see that, number 16, and that was Ernesto Romero shaking hands with the lineman as they got back up. Good sportsmanship there. Like to see that. Guzman, good job scrambling.
Ooh.
Good stiff arm there. And he scrambles out of bounds right at about the 38-yard line. Caleb Peebles. Sorry, not number Santos Castillo on the stiff arm, on the bad end of that stiff arm.
Oh, that's a DB's worst nightmare to get that full frontal palm in your face right there.
Well, and I'm not really sure how tall Manny Guzman is, but my guess is he's over 6 foot easy. But that reach that he's got, he really stuck that forearm out. And now here we're starting to see it again. And on the pass completion there, Angel Alvarez. And that one's just shy of the first down, it looks like. Let's see where they're going to spot it. And they are shy by about inches. And it's going to be third down and short. 1:04 left to go. They're doing a good job of controlling the clock, keep throwing it and moving it out of bounds as they work their way down the field. And they are going to call it a first down.
Shotgun double set.
And that might have been a false start that didn't get called. The receiver down here on the near side.
And another drop pass.
Another drop.
You know, it's definitely frustrating to see drop balls on a quarterback that's scrambling for his life, because that's what is happening for the South High guy. Every snap, the protection's breaking down. He's trying to keep plays alive. He's finding guys open, and they're just dropping the football.
The only benefit that we're seeing so far on this is that it's stopping the clock, but it looks like, there was a penalty marker thrown, and I'm trying to see where it was from. The officials are trying to have a conversation and talk this over, but the Rebels are confused, and they're walking back and forth now. That might have been a procedure call against the Rebels, obviously. 57 seconds left to go here in the first half. Nice quick pass out there to the near side. Number 4, once again, Angel Alvarez.
Number 4, Angel Alvarez with the catch. 5-yard gain gets
I was going to say, one of the fun things about joining the broadcast team of Kern High Network is getting to work with our photographer, Nick Ellis. Because when I was a player, he was an official.
That's right.
And I used to give him the blues. Now we get to work together.
No, Nick Ellis, a great photographer. Oh, and look at this. Look at this. A missed tackle. He had him, and it's a touchdown, Rebels.
Just
Are
like
you
we
kidding
said,
me?
one play away from making this a game is why, as a Golden Valley team, you wanted to do your best to try to keep it out of this explosive South High offense, because you know they have talent on the edge, and that was a rocket.
And a missed tackle at midfield.
Ineligible receiver downfield.
No!
Touchdown.
And it's going to come back.
It's taken back.
Oh, my goodness. They called an ineligible receiver downfield, and that's going to negate the touchdown. Are you kidding me?
Wow. Blown away.
So now we've had one for the Rebels, one for the Bulldogs, and that's coming off the board. They still have it up, but it's coming off. The white hat saying an eligible man downfield.
60-yard slant route that was one of the best plays of the game, taken back after an ineligible lineman downfield.
Wow.
And there's another gray hair for the coach. Wow.
And that is a tough one to see. It really is. So now here we are. 38 seconds left to go here in the first half. We've had enough excitement in this first half to last an entire game. So there's a quick pass. A good tackle over there by Valdivinos.
And that's going to bring up 4th down.
And that was number 3, King Ellis. Oh, no, number 6, excuse me, Devin Dean on the catch. 24 seconds to go, and the clock is now running. South High, no timeouts. So they can't stop the clock unless they go out of bounds or unless they spike the ball. Guzman, and he's going to he gets that pass off. Oh, my goodness. And any quicker, and that may have been picked off. And the clock is going to run out. That's going to do it. There's 5 seconds left. And the ball got turned over. That's right. It was 4th down.
Yeah, so they will stop the clock. And Golden Valley will have one more shot at the end zone.
And so if you're the Bulldogs, what are you going to do?
I got to go Hail Mary. You practice it every day. I mean, this is why you run that play.
Wow.
Every day in practice.
So, folks, hold on to your hats.
5
seconds left to go here in the first half. 14-0. Golden Valley leading the Rebels at the Rebels' home. Golden Valley now at the 39-yard line. Run a double set. Isaiah Coronado in the backfield. He's in there to block, and he's going to protect. And it's going to be a run as the clock runs out. And he's going to I think he's just going to hold on to the ball, number 3, Markel Bruley, and he goes down. And that's the end of the first half. Wow. Stick around for the second half. We're coming to you live right now from South High School. The Rebels trail the Golden Valley Bulldogs 14-0. We'll be back right here on the Kern High Network in just a few.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile. And I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools. Together, we have something special.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile. And I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools. Together, we have something special.
There are over 100 places to get pizza in Kern County, but only 4 are good enough to be called Tony's. So what's the Tony's Pizza difference? We're not giving away our secrets, but the proof is in the pizza. Tony's Spicy Mexicana, the mouth-watering Hawaiian, the award-winning Chili Verde, and so many more. Trust us, you'll find your favorite. If you want great pizza, you can play the numbers game, or you can get it right the first time. Tony's Pizza, 3 locations in Bakersfield and 1 in Shafter.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I'm a traditional banker. I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
I'm a millennial, and for me, it's all about the mobile. And I'm somewhere in between. I still do my banking online and at the ATM. And with access to over 30,000 surcharge-free ATMs nationwide, Kern Schools is always close by.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. That's why we're the #1 financial institution in all of Kern County. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I'm a traditional banker. I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
As a millennial, for me it's all about the mobile.
And I'm somewhere in between. I still do everything online or through an ATM. So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. That's why we're the #1 financial institution in all of Kern County.
Take advantage of our low mortgage rates, including 60-day rate lock and no cost to you. Purchase or refinance your home today.
Kern Schools, together we have something special.
It's wicked cool. It's our new aviation class. It gives kids a chance to break into the industry. There's a lot of careers in aviation. This class is a lot more than just flying planes.
We've learned so much already. We've learned how to take off. We've learned instrument flight rules. It's something everyone can do, I think.
Good. And you see, remember that horizon? Try to keep it parallel to your cockpit.
After the 2-year program, they're going to be able to take the knowledge test for their private pilot exam. I am a pilot. I've been in Bakersfield for 10 years. I worked as an instructor for 6 years and then became a corporate pilot. And I'm a teacher here. We have amazing equipment. Even flight schools don't have that much equipment.
You put a class like this somewhere at North High, and it's really preparing kids to succeed because it gives them a whole new set of opportunities they never knew that they had the chance to pursue. I'm proud to say that I'm from North High School and that we have administration that's willing to put the money into offering really, really neat programs like this and preparing kids to succeed.
A lot of more hands-on activities, a lot more about woodworking and what to do, how to make a career for myself.
It's not only for guys. I am actually learning how to make cupboards and put everything together, like doors, cabinets. It's really fun, actually.
Yeah, well, it's really amazing to see their growth over the course of a year and how they can come in with no real skill at all and leave being able to actually produce furniture and cabinetry.
Houses need cabinets, businesses having a pool of resources or kids that have some knowledge in the industry would be real good.
Pull down on that. Let's slide these up. Watch fingers.
It's changed a lot. What I'm seeing here is what it's going towards. The CNC equipment, computers. I could actually build cabinets out of this shop. It's state of the art. It really is.
I am constantly looking for students that have been through these programs. It's always nice to have a person that has some experience. It's a lot easier to train. I think we're fortunate in Bakersfield that the Kern High School District has invested in a program like this. I would encourage other businesses to partner up with the Kern High School District like I've done here, because this really shows you what can be done if business comes together with the Kern High School District.
This is where we're going to train the kids to actually get jobs in the industry. We're going to give them the basic tools that they need, also the skills that they need to understand where they fit into the industry.
All the animated things, because we have everything that we need in the scenes.
They are learning the principles of animation, Photoshop. They're learning how to animate in 2D and 3D. And when you swap to that shape, then you're just going to drag these over here.
The storyboard aspect of creating basically the skeleton of the story, and then just sort of directing people in my vision of what I want in the story. And it's also giving me the advantage of Mr. Pollard, since he's worked at so many companies, being able to put it in my resume and be like, this is the art direction I've received.
I was shearing my lamb for fair. I have 2 lambs.
This lamb is stubborn.
Taking care of animals is you feed them twice a day, make sure they have water, walk them, make sure they're ready for fair.
Vet science is the first year before you can actually go into animal science, and it's a lot of like hands-on with the different animals, and you get to learn different things such as giving shots, castrating, all that fun stuff. For me, wanting to be a vet when I'm older, it prepares me. All the stuff that I'm learning in ag is definitely going to help me.
I'm in ag communications. Anything that you see on the Facebook page is what we do, and pictures, and we do all the posters that are around campus, anything that just promotes ag.
Our students are all part of the FFA organization, and through that we have a chapter officer team. We do monthly chapter meetings because we're trying to get them involved outside of class. They can find something that they're interested in, and they need something that's going to hook them so that they're ready for life after high school.
In animal care, the students learn a variety of things, whether it's tools or terms. In the veterinary field, they learn about the skeletal systems, the animal nutrition, the housing, how to properly care for them. They also have the opportunity in the spring to actually go work at a veterinary hospital or at an animal shelter or a grooming salon.
Animal restraint, weight and temperature, pulse, respiration, all of that I learned here.
They take a state certified test, and if they pass, they become a certified vet assistant right out of high school.
It's always hands-on, and so I think that's what really helps us, is that we're not just getting it from a textbook, we're actually doing these things, and we're actually practicing these things that we'll be doing in our future careers.
It's wicked cool. It's our new aviation class. It gives kids a chance to break into the industry. There's a lot of careers in aviation. This class is a lot more than just flying planes.
We've learned so much already. We've learned how to take off. We've learned instrument flight rules. It's something everyone can do, I think.
Good. And you see, remember that horizon? Try to keep it parallel to your cockpit.
After the 2-year program, they're going to be able to take the knowledge test for their private pilot exam. I am a pilot. I've been in Bakersfield for 10 years. I worked as an instructor for 6 years and then became a corporate pilot. And I'm a teacher here. We have amazing equipment. Even flight schools don't have that much equipment.
You put a class like this somewhere at North High, and it's really preparing kids to succeed because it gives them a whole new set of opportunities they never knew that they had the chance to pursue. I'm proud to say that I'm from North High School and that we have administration that's willing to put the money into offering really, really neat programs like this and preparing kids to succeed.
We're in manufacturing engineering. We design parts, 3D parts, 2D parts, we create assemblies.
It's helping me get training in all of this stuff, like the computer programs that we have here, the machines that we have here. We learn a lot of math in here, mostly geometry and fractions, because I love math. That's why I'm in this class.
Mr. Lemmy, he's a great instructor.
So the problem is this piece itself.
He really goes hands-on with us. He helps us as much as we can. We've learned a lot from him.
Right now we're supplying students that are skilled in the safety, the basic operation of machine work, and then they also leave with some soft skills. They understand they have to be on time. They understand that they have to get up and talk to people. Most of them are walking out of here with a solid foundation in the entry level of a trade.
They can have a job anywhere they go because they have a basic understanding of what it's going to take to put products out that people are going to use.
Hopefully this is a good career for me. End up doing something good, have a good life, and make some money.
Well, we're learning a lot, and especially with just the basic knowledge of what you would need for an entry-level job.
All the basic skills to be a medical assistant in a doctor's office or a clinic.
You're leaning on it, and that'll make a difference.
And then they also do on-the-job training, and they work in doctor's offices or clinics throughout Kern County. The kids are job ready, and many of them are employed before the end of the school year. They're promised a job, as well as they continue their education. We have many registered nurses out there and even physicians.
I'm thinking I want to be an anesthesiologist. So a lot of school, but it'll be worth it in the end. We're learning the different roles, what a game designer is, what they do, and how video games are made, and how to deconstruct them.
We're also going to be teaching the hard skills, which includes learning the Unreal Engine. And what the Unreal Engine is it's a game development tool that students will be able to use to make their very own video games. And this is something that actually industry professionals use every day to make some of the top-selling games. They're all the same size. You're all on the same plane. There's no undulating terrain or anything like that.
Welcome back to the Kern High Network. Coming to you from South High School. And boy, what a first half of this one. Kenny Calvin joining me on the broadcast. Julian Wilson, our cameraman. And Kenny, your thoughts of the first half? I mean, where do we start? It was a game-filled first half.
Well, I got to tell you, Mr. Myers, I walked in with my head down. I wanted to be crosstown for the driller opener. And I'm like, I hope this is a good game. And just what? It is. It's a phenomenal game. Both sides of the football playing well. South High playing well, even though they don't have any points on the board. Just penalties have kept them from executing. They just had a 60-yard slant that was called back for an ineligible receiver downfield. Lyman scatting downfield, which has coaches pulling their hair out. But turnovers by South High. Golden Valley playing with tons more intensity and just executing and playing more of a mistake-free brand of football.
Yeah, so Here we are to get the second half kicked off here. Of course, special thanks real quick to our sponsors, Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, Motor City GMC, and of course, Bakersfield College and the Renegade Football.
Uh-oh.
And there's a nice kickoff and a good return and a cut back to this side. And take it down at about the 41-yard line. Great return by number 9 Santos Castillo. And boy, what a way to start the second half of that Bulldog offense.
And if you're the Bulldogs, great way to finish the first half by making sure you kept South High out of the end zone because you got the ball back, and now you can go back to that ball control style of offense and keep that explosive South High offense off the field.
Absolutely. And so first down for the Bulldogs at the 36-yard line, and hopefully what we may see is some of the same that we saw in the first half, that ground and pound offense, where that big offensive line really pushing the Rebels off the ball.
Yes, their offensive line doing a fantastic job as they go with the quarterback keeper. And as I say that, look at 62 and 53 high-fiving each other as they push that defensive lineman 10 yards, 12 yards past the line of scrimmage.
And that was a wildcat. That's number 6, Donovan Valdivinos, running the ball. Markel Bruley wasn't even on the play on that one. So once again, mixing it up and showing some different stuff. The Bulldogs really doing a good job of keeping the Rebels on their heels.
Absolutely. Very impressed with Coach Kane and his staff. Doing a great job mixing it up.
So Valdivinos once again behind center from the shotgun, and he runs once again on the left side, pushes forward for about another 3 yards, and it's going to be third down and about 4 or 5 to go.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going with the 3 yards in the cloud of dust theory. You know, if you're planning on going forward every fourth down, which they have for the most part, unless it's more than 7 yards, you know, it gives you a realistic opportunity to keep moving the chains and keep that offense off the field for the Rebels.
So Markel Bruley coming in from the sideline with the play. The Bulldog quarterback has yet to touch the ball here in the second half. And, of course, they keep splitting him out there to the wide side. A little confusion in the backfield between Valdivinos and number 22, Isaiah Coronado. Coronado, the lead blocker. Valdivinos on the carry, and he's forced out of bounds right at about the 46, 47-yard line, and that may be enough for a first down. Waiting on the signal from the line judge on this side to see where they spot him. It looks like a first from where I'm looking at.
Yeah, and it looks like he's telling them it's a first down. They're moving those chains, and it goes back to what we just talked about a couple snaps ago. Nothing cute. This is old school football from the days of Frank Gifford, one of the greatest drillers and renegades and Trojans of all time. Snap it to me and get out of the way, guys. First and 10, Golden Valley.
So now Valdivinos goes split out to the side. Guzman under center. Not Guzman, excuse me. Bruley under center. Now looks like they're going heavy package on the left side. And nothing doing over there, and it's going to be a loss of about a yard on the play as Isaiah Coronado was the ball carrier.
And I talked about one of my old players down there coaching his linebackers and his defense, Deron Mackey. One thing that you'll see out of these linebackers for South High, they're going to do a great job keeping containment. Where Golden Valley has been successful is running in between that containment and attacking that 26 and 27 hole on both sides.
So far we haven't seen a lot of success or even really them trying to get outside today, except these last group of plays. To start the second half, they seem to be doing that. So now, second down and 11. And that's number 4.
Late flag as
number
well.
4. Yeah, number 4, actually the kicker, Everardo Rueda. And Rueda, he's taken down for a loss in the backfield, but there's a penalty marker thrown at the 46-yard line. We'll wait to hear what the call is there.
And it'll be interesting to see what this call is because that flag came in so late. And also, if it's a holding call with it about to be third down.
And that's going to be a block in the back against the Bulldogs. And once again, the penalties that they've been accruing in this game, not really helping them.
Absolutely. They both have had penalties. South High, unfortunately, has had them at the wrong time, taking away points. Second and a mile for the Golden Valley Bulldogs. Trips open set. Quarterback keeps it. Bruley, he's wrapped up after about a 6-yard gain, taking it out to the 39-yard line where it'll be third and long.
8:43 left to go here in the third quarter. And that is going to bring up third down and about 19 to go. That could be a little wrong, maybe 18 to go. So the Bulldogs, a little bit of success early here in the first part of the quarter. And now starting to tail away a little, getting a little penalties. Kind of, it's kind of the same cycle that we've seen. Absolutely. Where they've had some of those issues going with their offense today.
Yes, you took the words right out of my mouth. It's kind of consistent with how they started the first quarter, going backwards.
They also have the ability, though, to break it open for the big play, and that's kind of what they're looking for here. So Bruley back to pass, and, of course, that's incomplete. Everyone going for it thinking that it's a backwards pass when indeed it's not. That's an incomplete pass intended for Isaiah Coronado, and now it's going to bring up fourth down. And it looks like the punt team's coming on for the Bulldogs.
And that's a good decision. You still have the lead. Not able to run as much clock when you get penalties because penalties stop the clock. But if you're Golden Valley as well, you have to be nervous giving this football back to South High because without that ineligible receiver downfield, it'd be 14-7 right now. So they have the capability of getting the ball downfield.
Yeah, and standing at the 30-yard line, you got to be nervous about those two guys. Number 3, King Ellis, and number 10, Tyrone Wilson. Both of them have big playability, so we're going to wait and see whether or not number 22, Isaiah Coronado, punts at them or away. And he kind of puts it over there a little short, and that's actually going to be covered well by the Bulldogs. And a great roll, and he touches it by mistake. And he could have got maybe 5 more yards out of it. That was number 3, Markel Bruley on the coverage.
Oh, and that's just bonehead play.
Well, no, not number 3. It was number 9, Santos Castillo making the mistake there. And, of course, I know he's just shaking his head. And he can't believe that he had the ball rolling in his favor with nobody around, and then he just got a little too close to it.
Oh, yeah.
There's 5 yards that you don't get.
Maybe 10.
Maybe 10. The ball was rolling well.
Absolutely. So real quick, we got Foothill at West Volleyball next week. That's going to be a good one. Ridgeview at BHS football next week. And View Park at Frontier.
And I will be at Frontier next week on the mic for the public address system. Once again, I am the public address announcer at Frontier High School, and I'll be there. And, of course, maybe, I'll be lucky enough to have you and Vance maybe up on top of the press box to enjoy some of that game. I may come up and have a few words with you guys during the course of that game in between a few breaks here and there, maybe to vote for the player of the game. And that reminds me, coming up at the conclusion of tonight's game, we will vote for the Tony's Pizza player of the game. Me, you, and our good friend Julian Wilson here working the camera for us this evening.
Absolutely. And I want to say I got my guy.
I got a couple of them right now. I haven't picked one yet. I think it depends on who wins. I'm still trying to figure out whether or not I'm going to go one way or the other. There's a handoff inside, and that doesn't get much, maybe a yard, maybe a half a yard, and it's going to bring up third down and long. Actually, I refrained. The guy over on the sideline was moving the stick one way, then moved it back to the original spot. So it's going to be third down and 9 to go, and the ball spotted right just outside of the 15-yard, inside the 15-yard line.
Yeah, and this is a huge conversion for South because you don't want to turn the ball over trying to force anything down here either.
But a big 3-and-out stop is what would happen if it was on the side of the and
he
he's
caught
out of
that.
bounds.
Oh.
He's out of bounds, and that's a good call by the official who spotted him out. And good coverage over there by the defense who actually knocked him out of bounds. Had they left him alone, he may have been able to get a foot down. And that's going to bring up fourth down for the Rebels, and that's going to lead to a 4-and-out, which is a big success for that Bulldog defense.
Huge success for a Bulldog defense that actually was inches away from giving up a great fade route catch for a first down because that was about less than 6 inches from the sideline. But nonetheless, how about that Golden Valley defense playing inspired, as we talked about all day?
Absolutely. The coverage over there was phenomenal, and that's really what it was all about. Had they not taken the line that they had taken and been aggressive in pushing them out of bounds, that would have been a caught ball.
Absolutely.
So here we go. Valdivinos now back at the 50-yard line, and he's waiting for a punt. 6:31 to go here in the third quarter. Bulldogs lead 14-0 here at South High School. And Valdovinos is going to pick that one up and run with it, and he's got sprung over there on the side. And he's going to take it just inside the 40-yard line down to the 37-yard line. And the Bulldogs are going to have a good spot to start from. Now what we have to focus on is are they going to be able to control their penalties?
Yes.
And are they going to be able to stay focused enough to keep the ball going one direction as opposed to the other?
Absolutely, taking advantage of that good field position. But on a side note, Mr. Myers, I got to tell you, as a former punt returner, I am getting upset at seeing these guys not catch the punt. You know, we put you back there for a reason. When you allow the ball to hit the ground, you're giving field position back to the team. You have to have confident guys in the punt return game, because I was telling my wife as we were watching NFL Thursday, punt return is the hardest job in football. You have about 2,000 pounds worth of guys coming down at you. You got to be staring up in the sky, ready to catch this ball and focus on that. So you got to have confidence at that position.
And you're probably praying that Troy Polamalu is not the guy coming after you. Hand off there to number 22, Isaiah Coronado, and he pushes forward. Big push by the offensive line of the Bulldogs there, and a 5 or 6 yard pickup on the play.
We noticed it last drive. That offensive line seems to be getting better as the game goes on. We talked about them pushing guys 12 to 15 yards deep into the defense. Amazing job by that front line.
Well, in the time that the offensive line has been out on the field for the Bulldogs, they have controlled this game. And so now we're going to see if the defense of the Rebels can answer and kind of get a stop here. And there's a little bit of a push up the middle, but it's met immediately, and there's going to be no gain on the play and bring up 3rd down and 5.
And I like what Coach Kane and the staff is doing. They're not rushing things. They're not taking chances unnecessarily with the 2-touchdown lead. But you're on your side of the field. You have field position. This is 4-down territory, of course, because your kicker more than likely doesn't have the leg for a kick from here. So you're making good decisions as a play-calling staff.
3rd down and 5 for the Bulldogs from the 32-yard line. 5:07 left to go here in the third quarter. And here comes number 14 on a jet sweep, and he gets snagged in the backfield. Great tackle, number 8, Hassan Lopez. Wow, what a grab in the backfield.
Well, I'm impressed with the play on the field, but I'm also impressed by the ability of Coach Mackey to still jump as high as he did, because he was hyped with that play made by his backer. Great job by the South High defense. And a huge 3rd down stop, bringing up 4th and 7.
4:34 left to go here in the third quarter. 14-0. Bulldogs lead and trying to extend their play drive right here.
Fourth and 7, and they're going with that quick punt again.
And that's going to the corner, and that's a good punt. And it's going to kick back in a little bit and roll down at the 13-yard line, and then looks like the Rebels will have it there, 1st down and 10 to go. I'm not quite sure why they decided to go with the punt, being down as deep as they are, but you know what? That must be something to say that Kane feels like his defense has stepped up and is doing the job they're supposed to be doing, and maybe he's going to rely on them to try and get him another touchdown.
Tom, you took the words right out of my mouth. I mean, South High, outside of that slant route that was called back, hasn't showed you much to make you fear what they can do with a 95-yard drive. You know, I haven't seen them put together a drive that kept them on the field that long. So
yeah, the first drive of the game that they had seemed to be the one that made it seem like they were really going to be doing something, and they've kind of slacked off the entire rest of the game and not really gone back to that same plan that they had before. Now right there, Manny Guzman showing why he's the main driver of this offense and really getting a good stiff arm there and picking up a lot of yards. That was a 14-yard pickup on the play by Guzman.
Very impressed by Guzman. We've talked about him putting balls on the mark and having a ton of drops on his receivers. I want to say I've counted 6. But his ability to make good decisions and not force the issue. Outside of the pick 6 that he had early, he's done a great job making good football decisions.
Absolutely. So 1st down at the 33-yard line for the Rebels.
Uh-oh.
Whoops, he sprung around. Block on the outside. And who is that, number 44? Number 42? Rebels score. Wow, no flags on the play. That's going to stand, and that was number 22, Daniel Lomax. Lomax Jr., and a big run from the 32-yard line.
We talked about South High linebackers keeping containment. Right there, what we saw is Golden Valley's defenders bumped into each other, causing a small traffic jam, which gave Lomax the edge. And once Lomax gets the edge, I'm sorry, you're not going to catch the kid.
Great run play. And now the tables have turned. And what we were just talking about a few minutes ago was what happened to that Rebel offense that we saw in the first series of the game tonight.
Absolutely.
And that was it.
And we talked about one play can get you back into a football game, so there's no reason to walk around holding your head. And this is a huge kick.
The kick is up, and it's a little to the right, and it's no good. Oh, my goodness,
we do have a flag.
Good.
We have a flag on the far side.
But everybody's kind of walking off. But, the white hat said don't go anywhere yet. And that would be another mistake by the Bulldogs that does not go in their favor. But it looks like, never mind, they're going to go ahead and walk off anyway. So it's going to be procedure called against the Rebels. And now 3:42 left to go here in the third quarter. The Rebels trail the Golden Valley Bulldogs 14-6.
How important is special teams? You know, people don't come to games to watch special teams per se unless it's Devin Hester on a kick return or something like that. It's not as exciting, but it's so important to make sure that the little things are taken care of on point afters, kickoffs. We saw offsides on kickoffs on both sides.
Oh, the beginning of the game was an absolute nightmare, yeah.
The little things in special teams can cost teams games, and that point right there is going to be a huge deal because it's 14-6.
Wow, what a great evening. You know what? We're looking down here on the sideline, and I can't quite tell, but there's a hall ambulance down here, and it looks like one of the players, it looks like they're putting him into a neck brace. We don't know which player it is, but it appears that they're trying to immobilize him. And if they have to move him, the game may get postponed until they can get another ambulance here unless they've already called for one. So, boy, we're really hoping thoughts and prayers with the South High Rebel player that is down on the bench over here on the near side.
Yes, because I can't remember a play where a player was brought off injured in this second half, and there's that second ambulance.
And here comes the other ambulance. So, so there won't be a halt in the play of the game. And, of course, who picks that one up? At number 22, Isaiah Coronado, and he's taken down to the 35-yard line, and the Bulldogs will go to work from there.
Yeah, we have a game on our hands.
Hey, and what a beautiful night. You know, I'm looking up at the sky. It's a half of a pie for the moon in the sky. You know, it's a great South High, wonderful stadium to be in. And, you know, I'd like to say, you know, what a great stadium, because I've had many a game in this stadium that I've watched. You know, my son played a little football here in his younger days when he was with Golden Empire. We played a couple games here. But this stadium is getting a big overhaul this next year.
That's beautiful.
So say goodbye. This is the last broadcast that we will ever do from South High unless we do another one this year where it is this stadium. They're moving the lights back. Wow. They're putting in an all-weather track.
Wow.
They're going to be improving the stands, moving everything kind of back a little bit and making some great improvements to this great school, which is so deserving of all the improvements that they've been getting.
Absolutely. Exciting. Oh,
there's a big hit over there on the near side. And, of course, on the end around on the jet sweep, number 6, Donovan Valdivinos for the Bulldogs. And that's a big pickup of about 11, 12 yards on that play. And it's going to be a first down at the 47-yard line for the Bulldogs.
Well, as the Bulldogs get that first down, you can't bring up South High without talking about guys like Brent McClanahan, legendary South High Minnesota Viking. One of my favorite opponents, Troy Ochoa. He was a quarterback here when I was playing. I never had to play here because they would always come play us. But just a true history of great football, and I'm glad to see them getting some upgrades.
And I'm glad you brought that up because that's like a little bit of a trivia question. Do you know the year where South won the Valley Championship in what year with Brent McClanahan? Do you know what year that was?
Wow.
And the score of the game, by the way, ended in a tie.
Wow. I got to say 74.
Nope. a little earlier. It was 1968.
Wow. Oh, it was before my
South
time.
High, well, it was before both of our times. The South High, maybe Vance remembers.
Yeah.
Too bad our good buddy Vance Palm isn't here to defend himself this evening. Well, we have fun at his expense. But, hey, Vance, we hope you're having a good time getting the night off tonight. But Vance will be back on the broadcasts next week, I'm sure. But, you know, it's kind of funny because we're so used to Vance he's been my hero and my mentor all these years in announcing. And to not have him here tonight seems a little bit not quite the same. Because we both love having him here, but of course you work with him.
Absolutely.
I work with him in volleyball. I'm his analyst in volleyball. We had that conversation earlier.
Yes.
And Vance, we really hope you're just having a good night off and hanging at home and having a nice beverage.
Enjoy, brother. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. That's right, because you're on the broadcast tomorrow for Bakersfield College football. And so Vance and Kenny both on the broadcast for that tomorrow, so be sure to tune in there.
Huge stop by that South High defensive line brings up 4th down.
And so now, this once again, the same decision they were at last time. The last time they punted it. In fact, they punted it kind of at this point in the field a number of times today. I wonder if Kane is wondering, well, looks like we woke up a sleeping giant, and maybe we probably need to try and hang on to the ball as long as we can.
Absolutely. As we've talked about all night, you do not want to give the ball back to an explosive offense with one play ability.
And they do have that, but the Bulldogs, don't give anything shy of the Bulldogs. They've done a great job on defense tonight containing the Rebels, but they've had a couple of missteps, and those missteps have yielded scores. Now, one of them did get called back, so this game could be tied right now. And again, it's going to be a punt right to the score, and that's a nice one. But, oh, my goodness, the Rebels got back and received it, and now down the sideline. He's still on his feet and taken down at about the 32-yard line. On the return there, number 10, Tyrone Wilson. And Wilson, that dangerous returner, they didn't think he was going back, and I don't think that the Bulldogs were heading down there anytime soon.
Mr. Wilson.
Oh, my goodness.
Amazing over-the-shoulder punt catch. We talked about punt return being one of the hardest jobs in football, and he just made it look simple.
And, boy, wasn't that a pretty punt.
Absolutely.
That thing had a perfect spiral on it, and it was headed right over there to the 10, and then it was going to bounce out and go inside the 10-yard line. They were going to get a great spot for the offense to have to start from. But unfortunately, boy, he just chased that thing down, picked it up, and ran it all the way back to 32.
Oh, and there's Lomax again.
And Lomax now starting to get legs under him and starting to show up. And this is exactly the guy that we knew he was going to be. And the favor swinging now to the Rebels.
And as I see his dad walk that sideline, he's getting that strut in his step like, okay, I see my son getting this groove. And now we have a timeout.
And Dad is down there clapping as much as he can. I don't even know if he's supposed to be down there, is he?
He probably
I don't think he cares, and I don't think the coaches are going to say anything.
Oh.
So it looks like they are putting the player now into the bus and taking him. Looks like he's going to go get checked out at the hospital, so we wish him and his family the best of luck. That's a tough one. Boy, you don't want to see – you never want to see an ambulance leave a football game before the game is over.
Yeah, I've had a tough ride in the ambulance once, and it was the worst day of my football career. And it's just something that you never want to see as a fan, nonetheless. But as a teammate, you don't want to see that. But there's two ways you can look at that. Are you going to use it as motivation, or are you going to tuck tail and get ready to go to the house? Yeah. And I think South High is using that as some motivation to play for their guy.
Absolutely. So now, 20 seconds left on the clock here in the third quarter. Guzman takes the snap and hands it off. And, of course, that's the number 22, Daniel Lomax Jr. Jr. gets about 3 yards on the play. And I think that's going to be the last one for the fourth quarter, before we head to the fourth quarter, rather. And I am correct in assuming that. So 3 quarters in the books. 14-6, the Golden Valley Bulldogs lead. We will be back with the fourth quarter right after these messages.
So while your financial life may start out with a Rocky Raccoon account, as you grow, we'll be with you every step of the way. From your first car and everyone thereafter, to investing in your family's future, to buying that special house you'll call home. Current Schools. Together, we have something special.
Welcome to the city, Motor City, where it's summer sell-down. Drive away a GMC Sierra 4-door, only $29,990, or save up to $10,000 off select Sierra HD models. Summer sell-down offers end September 3rd. We are professional grade, and we are California's largest.
And welcome back for the fourth quarter. Well, quite a game that we got going on here. 14-6, Golden Valley leading the South High Rebels. Would have been 14-7, but the Rebels missed a field goal in the third quarter. But boy, that Rebel offense really woke up.
Well,
the Bulldogs are going to have to figure it out.
One thing we talked about, we know they have one playability at several spots on the offense. They've just had terrible luck in regards to penalties at the wrong time. Golden Valley on that long run by Lomax, you have two of your guys bump into each other on the edge, and he gets around the edge with that kind of speed, you're not going to catch him. Unfortunately, they missed that PAT, which I talked about special teams being so huge in games like this. You know, their PAT unit kind of jogged out there like it was just going to be routine, and all of a sudden they had a penalty and a missed kick.
And then, of course, we saw it on the other end down here, that pooch punt that was headed down toward the 10-yard line. And, of course, you know, who gets back? It was number 10, Tyrone Wilson, caught it on the fly over his head and started running that thing out and put probably 25 more yards onto the field.
Absolutely.
Than what they would have had he let it roll out of bounds.
Yep,
and, of course, the defense of the Bulldogs didn't pay any attention.
Yeah, they were kind of lackadaisical, thinking it was going to run out of bounds or that he wasn't going to catch it because so many punts have hit the ground. But apparently Mr. Wilson heard me say, "We need punt returners to catch the ball, young man," and he did the over-the-shoulder Hank Aaron basket catch.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly right. And so, you know, basically what we're going to see is James Kane has a lot to talk about on Monday. Well, let's face it, it's going to be tomorrow morning during film, right?
Absolutely.
He's got a lot to talk about tomorrow, but he has a lot of good things to talk about, too, with this squad. Now, we've said it a couple times already. The last win that the Bulldogs had was in November of 2017.
Wow.
19 losses since then.
That is unreal.
This is Kane's first year. He is building a program, and he's down one of his star players in Simeon Trimble tonight. I would say that the Bulldogs have shown up to play.
Absolutely.
And this is an impressive squad, and they're going to get a win this season.
They definitely will get a win this season by the brand of football that I've seen today. What I'm hoping is that they can find a way to finish this game, because right now it seems like the momentum is shift to the other side of the field.
Well, and now we're going to see something over here. A timeout already called by the Bulldogs. So, obviously, Kane and his staff saw something that they didn't like, and a timeout is signaled, not even to start the quarter. So, I'm not sure. They've run a second off. I don't know if they'll leave it that way or if they'll add it back on, because I don't even know if the play was run. So, we'll find out on that. But, boy, hey, how about a special thank you to some of our sponsors, Kern Schools Federal Credit Union. And, by the way, if you haven't picked up the Achieve magazine, it is the award-winning Achieve magazine of the Kern High School District. I would recommend that you do so. You can pick it up at all Kern Schools Federal Credit Union branches. You can also pick them up in the administration offices of almost every high school in the Kern High School District. It's a great magazine. It has great articles on everything that we have going on in the Kern High School District. You know, we talk a lot about sports here, Kenny, on the Kern High Network, but the other things that we talk about that we don't really mention so much, but we do still showcase, are the arts and bands and theater and all these other things that make our student athletes and our other student actors, actresses, band members, everybody that is involved in the Kern High School District, all of our student population. It is a showcase of all the talent that we have in the Kern High School District.
Absolutely. You gave me goosebumps right there as a former Kern High product. You know, I just reflect on all the memories I had as an athlete, as a performer on stage. You know, those were the things that gave me the confidence to know that I could succeed outside of the community by having that kind of support that we had from the Kern High School District, and I appreciate Stan Green for allowing me to be part of the process this year.
Yeah, once again, a big thank you to Stan Green and all of his staff for everything they do to help us get this product out. And, of course, we really enjoy doing these broadcasts, and not only are we fans of these kids, but we're a fan of the sport. And it's, you know, I hate to tell everybody at home, this is a heck of a lot of fun, and we have a great time up here doing it.
Absolutely. It's a dream come true for a kid like me. You know, growing up in Bakersfield, California, you know, I was unfortunately raised in a parentless household, raised by family members, coaches, teammates for my family. And to be able to still be part of this process allows me to reflect on all the people who were there for me to put me in a position to be here to share this time with you, Tom.
Yeah, that's fantastic news. So I'm not sure what's going on down on the field right now. The officials are having a conversation. You know what? And we didn't realize this was going to happen. I had talked about it earlier, but they're waiting for the ambulance to get brought in. It was here earlier, but now, until the ambulance actually shows up and parks themselves inside the stadium, the game cannot continue.
Yeah, and it's all about safety.
Yeah, unfortunately, the other one had to go because they had to take the other student athlete for the Rebels. They had to take him to the hospital, and now we thought we had one at the gate, but it turns out that the one that was at the gate, we don't know where it went, so we're still waiting on that. So in the meantime, I'll tell you what, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back right after these messages.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile, and I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile, and I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
There are over 100 places to get pizza in Kern County, but only 4 are good enough to be called Tony's. So what's the Tony's Pizza difference? We're not giving away our secrets, but the proof is in the pizza. Tony's Spicy Mexicana, the mouth-watering Hawaiian, the award-winning Chili Verde, and so many more. Trust us, you'll find your favorite. If you want great pizza, you can play the numbers game, or you can get it right the first time. Tony's Pizza, 3 locations.
So, welcome back, everybody. We're back after a short break here, waiting for the ambulance to find its way into the stadium. Once again, one of the players for the South High Rebels had to be taken to the hospital. So, Hall Ambulance Service does the transportation, but Kern High School District has requirements that state that they must have an ambulance on site for every high school game, and if one leaves, another one has to replace it before the game can resume. So, we haven't taken any time off the clock yet, so we haven't even started this thing yet here in the fourth quarter. But let's reiterate once again, Tom Myers joined up on top of the press box with Kenny Calvin.
Whoa!
And a big sack in the backfield and a big hit. Gisman goes down, and he gets up limping a little bit. Big tackle. That was Muhammad Ali for the Bulldogs. And wow.
Flow like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
I guess so. Not far off from his namesake on that play. And now here we are. The clock's running, 11:33 in the fourth quarter. It's 3rd down and 14 roughly from the 41-yard line for the Rebels.
And I've talked about Golden Valley's defense outside of letting that containment get used up. They played pretty well.
So once again, and that's a pass inside. Great blocking out there on the end. And right now, once again, the tackling of the Bulldogs. And there's going to be a flag. And it looked like it was going to be a hold back there. And Kenny Calvin called it as he pointed at it. There's a flag thrown down at the 42-yard line, and that one's coming back.
Well, how about that effort by the young man wearing that number 4?
I'll tell you what, just crazy. Angel Alvarez has been all over the place tonight for the Bulldogs, or for the Rebels. And I'll tell you what, he just really did not give up on that play. And unfortunately, now it's going to come back. And you could spot it a mile away. You pointed at it. And now we're going to wait and get the official answer from the White Hat here in just a second. Still doing some pointing. He's walking backwards, but he hasn't made the call. Here he goes. Holding once again, what we figured from the Rebels. And it's going to be 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Going to push him back to about the 32-yard line. And, boy, big mistake there for the Rebels.
We talked about it all night, Mr. Myers. Untimely penalties when you don't need them. And that was actually a 3rd and 14 that was converted. You know, and now, nonetheless, it's going to be taken back an extra 10, making it 3rd and a mile once again for the Rebels.
Yeah, 3rd down and 24 to go from the 33-yard line. And the Rebels going shotgun here and going back to pass is Guzman. Oh, and it's almost picked off. Number 4, Everardo Rueda.
Wow. You know, one thing I like about Rueda, he did what I talked about, putting your thumbs together to try to attack that ball, because if you try to go in with your basket catch technique like you're a receiver, that's going to either be caught by the receiver or basically you're not going to be there to break it up.
Yeah.
No, so great job by the Golden Valley defense. After giving up a tough touchdown, they go ahead and bow up the next time and force them to punt.
And, yeah, it's going to be a punt. So now, of course, the dangerous Donovan Valdivinos back for the Bulldogs, just a little bit past the 40-yard line at about the 38-yard line. And I'll tell you what, if South High isn't careful, they're going to get a delay of game called on them, and that's going to push them back even further. And and the back judge over there, he's shaking his hand and waiting for the snap, just gets it off.
Oh, and it's a shank.
Horrible punt. And that's going to roll out of bounds and benefit the Bulldogs. It's going to be the 47-yard line of the Rebels, and the Bulldogs are going to take over there. 10:47 left to go here in the game, and the lead 14-6.
And I'm going to say something. I did this earlier, and I'm going to try to do it one more time. If you're Coach James Kane, judging from your last couple of drives, you have to call the best play in your package right now on this down.
And I will ask you, Kenny Calvin.
Yes.
What is the best play do you think he has in his package?
I'm going to go play action right now because you ran the football so well, and these guys are cheating up. The safety for the Rebels is playing at 12 yards deep, and now he's backing up. But if he comes up on play action, and they go reverse.
And right there, great move by Valdivinos, and he gets to the outside. And he's going to be taken out of bounds at about the 33-yard line, 35-yard line is where they're going to spot him. And that's a big pickup and a big play by the Bulldogs.
Absolutely, and see what we were talking about. I thought play action because that's a play where you're trying to get some direction. They go the opposite, go the reverse. You have to do something to try to catch a team off guard and sudden change opportunities.
Well, in the Bulldogs' favor, they have been good at tempo tonight and throwing off the Rebels and their defense.
Absolutely.
And making good plays and plays that aren't expected.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, they didn't pass the ball for the first probably 5-6 downs and then threw that pass over the middle.
Yeah, now they go inside run to the toughest man on the field, number 22.
The big run there, Isaiah Coronado. Coronado picks up 6 yards on the play, and now it's going to be 2nd and 4 from just inside the 30-yard line at about the 29. Bulldogs pressing right now. 10:16 to go, leading 14-6.
Remember what we talked about, Mr. Myers. He's not trying to break that outside. He's staying in between the tackles because that's where they've been successful, and that's a 6-yard gain. You get 6 yards every carry, you're going to be fantastic. 2nd and 5.
Well, and you also notice the fullback ended up at about the 20-yard line after that play because he was busting through that hole. Yep. And there's even a little bit of a gain on a play that really didn't do much but still got 3 yards on the play.
Absolutely.
And now it's 3rd and short.
Just like you talked about, their tempo, they seem to be playing at a higher click. They're getting to the line at a higher click. Everything seems to be on point for Golden Valley, even when they haven't converted. South High has had to struggle their way through each drive, getting over penalties, and now with 9 minutes remaining to play in the fourth quarter, their backs against the wall.
Well, if a touchdown is scored here by the Bulldogs, that's really going to put the pressure on the Rebels of South High.
Missed tackle,
and that one's
fumble.
fumbled, and he still picks it up and tries to run with it, but he loses about 3 yards on the play. He's lucky he got the ball back.
Absolutely. Little confusion at that mesh point with the reverse action motion that you try to give. You're trying to fake that jet sweep. However, it's not a lot of room. Great penetration by that South High defensive line.
You took the words right out of my mouth on that because South High was in the backfield almost as soon as he had the ball in his hand.
Absolutely.
Swatting at the ball, and that's what knocked it out. Great play by the Rebel defense.
And they played well all night. And just like you said, they've been unfortunate in some of their field position, put in a tough position again with a bad punt.
So here we go. 4th down and about 4 yards to go.
Oh!
Almost intercepted by number 4, Angel Alvarez, and he can't hold on to it. Not sure what it really would have done because it's going to turn the ball over now, and they still have good field position, so the Rebels get the ball back at the 30-yard line.
Absolutely. That was actually a smart play, and that's what I would tell the coach. I dropped that on purpose to get the field position back, but he had a chance to get his name in the paper.
Well, and I don't think that was Alvarez. I think that was I'm trying to see what his number is. He's coming to the side. He came up limping on that play, and we're trying to get a number on him. It might have been number 6, Devin Dean, on that play. I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah, bear with us.
I think that is Devin Dean, and he's come up hobbling, and he's in a lot of pain. A lot of pain.
Possibly cramping.
And that may not be a good loss for the defense of the Rebels to have him go out because he's contributed today to their secondary.
Uh-oh. We got another holding call.
Yeah, we got another holding call. That one's going to come back. Nice pickup on the play, but again, now if that's from the spot of the foul, that's back at the 31-yard line. That's going to push them all the way back to the 21-yard line. Yep, sure enough. So right now, 8:18 left to go here in the game. The Bulldogs lead 14-6. The Rebels have the ball 1st down and about 25 to go.
But I'll tell you what.
They're at their own 16-yard line.
Yeah, you couldn't ask for a better game, though. This has been a well-played game. South High still in it, 1 play away. Shotgun double set for the Rebels.
And Guzman going to work, and that one's going to be down right there because he had a knee down. They're going to spot him down. And a pickup of about 2 yards on the play will bring up 2nd down and long.
And all night they've attacked Ralph Alvarez or Ralph Gonzalez. You know, and they've had some opportunities. But ultimately, you see that guy next to Gonzalez, number 16. He's a player of the game candidate.
Ernesto Romero with that pick 6 in the 1st quarter. And once again, they're going back to the same thing.
Huge stiff arm.
And the defense is slow in getting over to help. Nobody came over to help, and they're lucky that they got there as soon as they did. But number 4, Angel Alvarez, put the stiff arm on him and really kept going, and nice pickup on the play. And now they're back to the original line of scrimmage, and it's 3rd down and 10.
Boy, that made my head hurt. Stiff arm, juke, spin move. This kid has all of it in his package. Trips open set for the Rebels.
The defense made a mistake in not getting over. Oh, and he tried the pump fake on that one to get him to bite, and it's overthrown. But a great idea on the part of Guzman and Angel Alvarez, both right there trying to line that one up to go long.
And if you reflect back to the first half, I talked about receivers not running the route correctly. You have a double move, but instead of running hard to sell the first move, you're still looking back to where we know it's a double move as a DB because you're still looking back. You didn't give the impression that you're running hard for one route. You have to sell the first route for the pump and go to work.
So now it's 4th and long from their own 29-yard line, and the Rebels are going to go to punt here. And I think Valdivinos back once again, and he's going to pick this one up if it gets a good bounce. Now he's going to let it go. If it had hopped up, he may have picked it up and run it. And that's going to be down at the 34-yard line. Bulldogs will have it there, 7:21 to go here in the game, and leading the South High Rebels 14-6.
Amazing game, but I'll tell you what. My guy, number 16, Ernesto Romero, was about half a step away from blocking that punt. That would have made his 3rd turnover of the game.
That's true. He has a pick 6, a fumble recovery, and then that would have made the third one.
Oh, my goodness. This kid is playing lights out. I just love players. As a former coach and recruiter, one of my favorite jobs was a recruiter at the Division I level when I first retired from football. And I would love to find guys that did everything they needed to do to help their team win. Right now, he's looking like that guy for me on that defense.
So now the Bulldogs go back to the run once again, and that line trying to get the push on the Rebel defense. Bulldogs looking really stout up front, and they pick up about 2-3 yards on the play.
And right here is that dangerous time for a play caller, because you don't want to get too conservative, because there's still a ton of time left in the game with 6 minutes to play. So you have to continue to be aggressive in a play calling nature. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some little razzle-dazzle that we saw on the last drive, or some play action pass.
And I think we might see a little bit of slowdown as well. So second down. Handoff inside. On the carry there, number 22, Isaiah Coronado. Coronado, no gain on the play. Good penetration by the defense of the Rebels.
Once again, that defensive line ever present. But that play is an example of what I was just talking about. You go run trying to be safe, but right now, with 6 minutes remaining to play, if you don't get this third down conversion, you're punting it right back to an explosive offense. So I think that was the opportune time to try to come up with something that you want to try to catch them off guard.
Yeah, that may have been the right time to do a pass or a slant, and now it may be too late. They may go to the run once again, or a jet sweep like they're looking at right now, and here they go around the end. If they can seal the end, he cuts back to the inside, and he's taken down. Big hit. Big hit, number 45 on the hit there of the Rebels. 45 or 43.
Man, I tell you, Mr. Myers.
It is number 45, and unfortunately, he's not on our roster.
Oh, my goodness. I need to know that kid's name, because that was a huge hit.
Wanted to mention him so badly, but he's not on the roster that we just got from the South High administration just the other day. I got this literally 2 days ago, and unfortunately, he's not on it. I apologize for that. If you're his parents, just know that we saw it. And we appreciated it, but we can't call it. So now, back for South, once again, the ever-dangerous King Ellison, number 10, Tyrone Wilson.
A fake would be a great call right now as well on 4th and 4.
It may be, but again, now that's not helping him. So now we have a bad punt one way and a bad punt another, and nobody's over there to cover, and he picks it up. Once again, Wilson on the play, thinking twice before everybody else. He seems to be ahead of him. Picks up the ball and scampers forward for about another 5 yards.
And this is why I say that was a great opportunity to call a fake, because you see they have 2 punt returners deep. That means they have one less person in the box. As an opportunistic time, 4th and short, you're playing well enough on defense. May have been a good opportunity to try to take that shot with the fake, but you punt it for 4 yards.
Yeah, well, now the Bulldogs are really going to have to do a lot of thinking here. The ball of the Rebels, they have it on the 44-yard line. 4:49 left to go in the game, and they trail 6-14. Handoff inside.
Lomax.
Good run by Lomax, and they're not having a chance dragging him down, and he's still on his feet all the way down to the 16-17-yard line. Wow, what a run.
And if you look on the field, you see some Golden Valley players getting up very slow. I will tell you this, as a former defender, Lomax is not a guy that I would enjoy tackling all night, because he's running hard as I've ever seen at the high school level. And he's well over 100 yards right now.
Wow. Lomax now coming to the near side, and he's going to get around that edge. Nice tackle down there by number 1, Ralph Gonzalez. And there's a penalty marker because somebody, I guess, is getting a little chippy, and the officials have finally had it. And you really don't want to see that at this point in the game, Kenny.
I definitely have to disagree. Well, I don't know what he said, first of all. So I'm hoping that he said something flag-worthy. Because in a point of the game right here with 4:18 remaining to play, the last thing you want to see is a dead ball, unsportsmanlike call
on your offense.
On the offense.
And it's on the Rebels, so they're going to get that one marked off.
And that's where, you know, I told you.
That's a 15-yarder.
Yeah, and I told you I gave my buddy Nick Ellis some tough times back in my day. And I was probably one of those guys that said a little bit too much at times. But I would challenge officials to be mindful that guys are emotional. It's a game that's very close. Fourth quarter, you don't want a call that could have been dismissed to affect the game. And taking 15 yards away from a team that just entered the red zone could possibly do that.
Absolutely. And now somebody's signaling a timeout, I believe. And I don't know if that was official timeout or there's an equipment malfunction down there or something. The officials are having a little word. And it looks like everything's kind of been sorted out now. And by the way, we did mention Nick Ellis. He's doing our photography for tonight for, of course, for the magazine, and a timeout called by the South High Rebels. And, of course, working the story this evening, Adam Waybright. So, once again, thanks to those gentlemen for their helping out with the Kern High Network.
Amazing team.
And, of course, our Achieve magazine, which, once again, as I've mentioned before, you can pick up at multiple locations, Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, or administration offices for each high school in the Kern High School District.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the sequence of events that just happened. You get an amazing, tough 7-yard run from Lomax. He's pumped up. He's just had his second carry in a row for about 45 total yards. He's high energy. He's pumped up. You got a guy in his face that's talking. He says something back. He gets the flag. As coaches, you want to tell your players, you have to be more focused than that. But also as fans and as personnel, you would like to see the officials take the nature of the game into context and have a little bit more awareness about not making a call that's going to affect the game, because it was a 2nd and 3. Now you have a 2nd and 15 for a team that's trailing.
That's exactly right. So, but hey, you know, here goes Lomax again. And a pickup right there of about 15 yards on the play, 12, 15 yards.
And I got to tell you, somebody go and ask Everardo Rueda how it felt to make that tackle right there. He made the tackle all right.
And a quick pass out to the side there. And, of course, that's the number 4, Angel Alvarez. And a nice pickup there. And I think that's going to be a first down. And now it's going to be first and goal. First and goal from about the 7-yard line. And the Bulldogs on their heels right now. 3:50 left to go. 14-6, the Rebels trail. It would be a touchdown for them, would bring it to within 2, and then they would need a 2-point conversion to tie.
And the ball is fumbled in Golden Valley.
And the Bulldogs have it. The Bulldogs have it. Are you kidding?
Wow. Oh, my goodness. Mr. Myers, did we just see that happen?
And the Rebels are just deflated coming off the field. They can't believe it. The ball came loose. The Bulldogs have it. And it's 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line. 3:38 left to go in the game. I am speechless.
And I think that may have just been a case of going to the well one too many times, trying to get that ball to.
There was penetration by the Bulldogs on that. They disrupted that play.
Absolutely.
And I think there was a handoff that was trying to happen, or he was either trying to do a quarterback carry, and the ball just popped out off the back. It was almost like a butt fumble. It was pretty close to a Mark Sanchez butt fumble. And now the Bulldogs, they're going to give it to their up back, and he's going to push forward for a couple of yards, and they're going to try and drain as much clock as possible. The South High Rebels have 2 timeouts left. The Bulldogs only have 1.
Amazing turn of events. I just knew that South High was going to go ahead and roll in, but how do you like the character of that Golden Valley defense getting to that loose football?
Well,
wow.
That's a defense that didn't give up and kept pushing. And so give all the credit to them for their role in that fumble. Now let's see if the offense can come to the table and actually do this. Now they're going to the Wildcat now. Valdivinos in the backfield.
If he's smart, he wants to stay in bounds.
He's around the end, and they're going to keep the clock. I don't know if they're going to keep the clock running or stop it. I didn't see any signal over there by the officials. The clock is stopped at 2:54, but it is also a first down. So we'll see if the clock starts running as soon as they get the ball placed. And it is running. The White Hat is running the clock.
And that was a great decision by the young man to actually try to stay in bounds, because what the rule states is if you're going backwards when you're pushed out of bounds, the clock continues to run. If you're going forward when you go out of bounds, they'll stop it.
Absolutely. So here we are, a new set of downs. And the fullback stopped in the backfield by the Bulldogs. And he didn't get much, but hey, guess what he did get? Clock time rolling off. So right now, 2 minutes, 15 seconds left. The Bulldogs, they're leading. Excuse me, it's kind of hard to say it. The Bulldogs are leading 14-6 with just over 2 minutes to go in this game.
Well, Mr. Myers, I don't want to say it too early, but we're about 120 seconds away from their first victory in 2 years.
We shouldn't say it. Shouldn't say it yet. But, boy, the Bulldogs now are just – and the ball popped out again.
Ball popped out. That ball came out.
Did the Rebels have it?
Did I just jinx them? Oh.
No, the Bulldogs retain the ball.
It did come out, though.
It did pop out, but the Bulldogs still have it, and the clock is still churning. And there's a penalty marker, and that's not going to help the Rebels. The Rebels said one too many things, and now it's going to be a penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct, and another one.
And that'll be a first down to where they don't have to run another snap.
Well, there are two. Now, the Rebels do have 2 timeouts left in the game, but they've lost their cool completely. And so now I can tell you Kerry Mills isn't very happy with a couple of his players because they've just said too much, and so he's not very happy right now.
Well, I got to tell you, we got a minute and 25 seconds left to play. We got to start talking our player of the game.
We are going to have to start talking our player of the game, and it's going to be a tough one, but I think I've already kind of got one, but we're going to wait until we get to the end because we don't want to you should always – it's not over till the fat lady sings.
Absolutely.
She's warming up her voice right now.
But she's not out of the dressing room.
So, Julian Wilson, hang on real tight because we're going to need a little bit of help from you. Coming up, the Tony's Pizza Player of the Game. And Kenny Calvin and I and Julian Wilson will all kind of make a decision as to who we think that's going to be. Now, the White Hat, they want to talk it over. Kerry Mills is pointing at the scoreboard because I don't know if he likes the time that's left on there. And now there's a flag Mills is getting flagged now where his sideline is.
And this is what you don't want to see.
And now it's going off the rails, and that's really unfortunate. A game like this, it's a great game.
Great game.
Regardless of who the winner on this one is, the Rebels played a great game.
Absolutely.
It's just the turn of events didn't go their way, at least so far. Now, like I said, there could be something drastic that happens here in a minute that we're not aware of, and nobody wants to call a game before it's over, but literally flags are flying right now and about another and so timeout now, it looks like it's been called by the Bulldogs. Unsportsmanlike conduct now is being called on the Rebels on the sideline, and that's going to be another 15-yard penalty.
Mr. Myers, we talked
about. And an ejection has been called, and I don't know who got ejected, but I'm guessing.
And a second half ejection affects your next game.
It sure does. And I don't know who that ejection is on because I'm trying to figure it out because I haven't seen it, and it looks like, well, I can't tell if a player has left yet or not. Nobody's left. But somebody got ejected for the Rebels, and it's either a player or a coach.
Well, I got to reflect back to what we talked about untimely penalties. South High all night has had more of them. And now with the game on the line, the true character, I don't want to say the true character, but character in a loss is coming out where you're not seeing great character from this sideline. And it's one of the things that you want to learn from as an organization, how to lose graciously as well. You know, you're not always going to win. Some battles are tough, but this has been a clearly played game as they go with that power play.
And that's a handoff around the right side to number 22, Isaiah Coronado, and we've mentioned his name a few times tonight.
Absolutely. He's definitely a candidate.
But again, along with all of this, we're not trying to take anything away from the way that this Golden Valley squad has shown up and played tonight.
Absolutely.
With tons of heart and just really done a number of great things on the football field this evening.
Definitely. You know, from a defensive standpoint, you know, as a former defensive coach and defensive back as a player, you know, it's always a great opportunity to show the rest of the world what you're capable of, because you don't get as much credit as offensive guys. And they've done a great job as a staff and as a unit.
Absolutely, and it looks like the clock is being reset because some of the time has run off of it. So the official now is asking for more time on the clock, and we're trying to figure out what that is. Right now the clock is at 44 seconds. It's second down and 1 yard at the 36-yard line for the Bulldogs. And he set the clock at a minute, and that looks like that's where they want it to be. So the clock will start on the snap, and it's 2nd and 1. So the Bulldogs with a chance to get a first down here. And that's a handoff, and he's through. Oh, my goodness, they let him through. Number 22, Isaiah Coronado scores. Touchdown, Bulldogs.
Wow.
And that's what we saw a glimpse of earlier this evening, and I just made Kenny Calvin speechless.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Because his effort and intensity out of that backfield all game was a game changer for Golden Valley, and that's how they end up putting this game away. For their first win in over a calendar and a half.
I think the exact date, if I am correct, which I believe I am, the exact date for Golden Valley, their last win. And I'm looking through my paperwork here. Their last win, November 3rd of 2017.
Wow.
It has been 19 straight games that they have lost.
Well, Tom Myers,
and
I told
wow,
you.
Congratulations to Golden Valley on a great evening. On to kick number 4, Everardo Rueda. And that one's up and good.
Well, Mr. Myers, it's official. I'm good luck.
Kenny Calvin, you are good luck. 52 seconds left to go here in the fourth quarter. It's the Golden Valley Bulldogs 21, the South High Rebels 6.
Wow.
We are coming to you from South High School.
Wow.
And at the beginning of this evening, we had some reservations about whether or not the Bulldogs had it in them. They've been close this season. They played far better than some of the scores had dictated. They lost a nail-biter.
Yes.
Nail-biter. A last-minute field goal from East High. Lost 10-9.
All right, so guys, 52 seconds left. Looks like they have this one in hand. We've seen some crazier stuff happen.
Well, a run back by probably, if you would think maybe Tyrone Wilson run the ball all the way back, or maybe even King Ellis.
Yeah, and then a quick onside.
And then a quick onside could happen.
Yeah, it could happen. I've seen it happen before.
Regardless, what an exciting night. What a great evening. Perfect weather out here. It's just been a beautiful sight. Kenny Calvin, of course, brought some cured meats from Luigi's.
Oh, I got to bring my Luigi's with me, man.
Yeah, what a great evening. Hey, a special thanks to everyone involved with the Kern High School district and the Kern High Network. Our good friend Stan Green and his staff for all of their support. And Miguel, our good friend, for getting all of our paperwork and stuff in order and getting all of the text messages and getting us all organized.
Deanna Ribbons.
Thank you to him. Once again, a great thank you to our staff tonight. Kenny Calvin, great job doing the analysis on the game tonight. And Julian Wilson, fantastic job. And that's a big kick right there, and that one's going to be a touchback. I'll tell you what, Ruela's got a leg.
He does.
He may play soccer, I'm wondering. But, boy, to put one in the end zone anymore, lately it seems like a lot lately. I haven't seen as many good kickers coming out of Bakersfield.
Absolutely.
And I think football coaches have been trying to recruit soccer players right and left and not having the best of luck doing it. But he did a great job kicking tonight.
I had some amazing kickers in my day. Rob Neese, Brian Walker, two of my driller kickers and renegade kickers. Had the honor of seeing one of the greatest to ever do it, Carson Olivas, who was our punter last year, playing for the Bruins this year. Definitely great kicking game out of Kern County year in and year out.
So the Rebels surprisingly taking a knee.
And I don't understand the concept.
I'm guessing maybe Kerry Mills probably putting his hammer down saying, you know what, guys, I don't think you deserve to play another minute.
Well, that's a great point. Once guys start losing their cool and not playing with character, cheap-shotting guys. Had some injuries tonight. Hopefully the young man that was taken away is doing well. I wish we had a number on him. But ultimately, this may be a great decision by South High. So since they're taking these guys, who do we got for our player of the game?
Well, we're going to have a little discussion about that because, obviously I think it belongs to I don't want to take anything away from Manny Guzman and the job he did for the Rebels tonight.
Yes.
What a fantastic job. And he threw some balls that the guys just didn't help him.
Yeah, they
dropped some real good passes that he thrown. But obviously I think we want to give it to the Golden Valley Bulldogs, and we want to give it to one of them because what a great night they had. Markel Bruley did a great job leading his team.
Yes, he did.
He really
Amazing
did.
Passes.
Donovan Valdivinos. I mean, how do Donovan was all over the place. Kick returns, end arounds, did a great job. Ernesto Romero did a fantastic job, obviously, because he had
2 turnovers,
a pick six and a fumble recovery. And then, of course, Isaiah Coronado, that running back out of the backfield, carried the load. So,
Absolutely.
we got a tough decision now. Julian Wilson just informed me that Ernesto Romero is his guy. Once again, Ernesto Romero, an interception and for a return and a fumble recovery.
Absolutely.
Now, you have 33%, and he has 2%, and I have the rest. It's a three-way deal here. So your thoughts, Kenny Calvin.
Well, one of the things I like to say about teams who haven't played well, you have to have inspired play by people you didn't expect to be the guy. And I'd be remiss if I would say I came out here expecting Romero to have the kind of impact he had on this game with the pick six. That pick six in the beginning of the game actually took all the momentum from South High as they were playing so well before it happened. And once that happened, it gave Golden Valley the momentum that they needed to get up and continue that run. So I got to go with number 16.
And so
Ernesto Romero.
So with that, our Tony's Pizza player of the game, I concur with both of you gentlemen. Ernesto Romero, congratulations. You are the Tony's Pizza player of the game. For all of us here at the Kern High Network, for Kenny Calvin, for Julian Wilson, I'm Tom Myers. Thank you all for being here this evening. Once again, the Bulldogs win 21-6 and get their first win in 19 tries and the first game since 2017. Congratulations, Golden Valley. We'll see you, everybody.
All right, now I'm going to put my traction.